All right, how we doing tonight? Welcome to the Low Carb Football Party. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. I can't complain. Life is good.
So does it seem like I'm sorry, but does it seem like my video's all blurry?
A little bit.
I might
Hopefully,
drop out for a second. Let me drop out
okay.
and come back
Yep.
in.
No problem. No problem. Hey, if you're just joining us, go ahead and if you could like the video, that'd be great to get it out to the YouTube algorithm. Also, make sure you put a Q in front of any questions you have tonight. That would be greatly appreciated. And we'll see what's going on here, guys. I know Brian will be back with us here shortly. All right. There we go. Welcome back.
Is that better?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit better. So,
good.
All right. We'll just kind of wait for a couple more people to hop on here. And let's see here. So, Brian, sorry, guys. Just want to get the little quirks worked out here. All righty. Let's see. What is going on here? Having all kinds of technical difficulties this morning or this morning. Oh boy. It's going to be a long evening, guys.
Yes, it is.
It's already starting off a little rough today. Let's see here. Hi, Simpson. How are you? The farty happy. Yeah, it's the farty football party for sure. Especially when bloopers start right away and can't speak or talk or the cameras don't work.
It's always something.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of funny how that works out sometimes. I just want to remind everybody, make sure you like the video if you could, and also share it if you like. We'll try to get it out to YouTube and get some more people in here. If you want to put in the comments where you're from, it'd be greatly appreciated. And I guess, Brian, we'll talk a little bit of football here, I guess, to start off. Who we got playing tonight?
So we have the Chicago Bears and the Carolina Panthers. And Justin Fields is not playing again for the Bears.
Yeah,
the Bears are a 3.5-point favorite, though.
Wow, really? Okay. Huh.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of interesting because didn't Carolina have a big win last week? Their rookie quarterback, didn't he throw for like 4 touchdowns? I had a really big game, if I remember
that was
right.
The Texans. That was the Texans.
Okay.
That was the other rookie quarterback.
Okay.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, you're right. Stroud. You're right. I got them mixed up.
Bryce Young has struggled a little bit so far this year.
Yeah, they're both Ohio State quarterbacks, though, right? If I remember right.
Bryce Young's from Alabama.
Okay.
CJ Stroud was Ohio State.
Gotcha. All right. Well, yeah, that should be an interesting matchup. Who do you think's going to win tonight's game?
With Justin Fields not playing, I'm going with Carolina because I can't remember his name, but the guy that plays that's starting tonight for the Bears at quarterback, last week he just looked bad. I don't even there's nothing else to say. He just looked bad. So
he was actually a Division II quarterback coming out of college. So I guess he broke all kinds of records, was really good, but he's still adjusting to the game. I see Chicago's wearing their orange uniforms tonight. That's kind of cool and something a little bit different. That's something exciting about the game tonight, right?
There's that at least.
It seems like Thursday nights. Last week's game was really good, but some of the games are just duds. I think Brian and myself, I think our broadcast is the show to watch, not the game itself. Just kidding. It's fun to watch the games for sure. But I think looking at it, it's at Chicago. I hate seeing my buddy Adam Thielen playing for Carolina. He's a Viking for a long time and really should have been a lifelong Viking probably, but I understand why he moved on, and it comes down to it. It's a business, but he's still playing really at a high level. I guess tonight I'd like to see Carolina win the game. We'll see what happens just because the Bears are in the North Division. I know your Lions are sitting atop and the Vikings are are not too far behind. But I think it's kind of funny. Do you know a lot of these experts are picking the Vikings to be one of the better teams in the NFC, which I'm shocked because they do have a pretty soft schedule the next 4 or 5 games. But I just don't see them being that good. Maybe it's just me, but I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Brian?
Well, I don't know. I mean, right now they're overcoming Justin Jefferson and the quarterback, right? Kirk Cousins. So
Yeah.
both of them are out. Cousins is out for the year. I think Jefferson's going to be back in like a couple weeks, I think I heard.
Yeah. Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see, Dobbs playing quarterback. Of course, I don't know if it's going to be him or the rookie, but if it's Dobbs, which I think it will be,
Yeah.
I think he's not as bad as you might think. And you saw what happened in this first game without really any practice with the team. So especially when they get Jefferson back, I think that they could be pretty tough.
Yeah, there's a lot of weapons to cover for sure because it's not like, the rookie receiver Addison's done really well for Minnesota too. And it's like, well, they've got quite a few weapons on offense. Their defense is playing much better compared to early in the season, which makes a difference too. So it's definitely a little bit different. Hey, I just want to say hi to Rhett and Carnivore Brothers. Hope all's going well. Welcome to the show. And if I just want to remind everybody, if you're in, make sure you smash the like button, and also go ahead and put in the comments where you're from. We'd like to see that. If you do have questions, go ahead and put a Q in front of it in the geez, I can't talk tonight in the comments. That would be great. And so Brian, you think you're picking Chicago to win then? Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of
wait,
score are
no,
you thinking?
I'm sorry. No.
Oh,
Carolina.
okay.
Carolina. Carolina. Yeah.
What kind of score are you thinking?
Oh, geez. 13-10.
Yeah, I was going to say 17-14. Carolina.
I mean, I almost said 2-0, but
it's kind of funny. We all seem to pick the same teams too, for the most part. I would say it seems like, and last week I about nailed the score of the game. It was pretty close, but I'm with you. It might be a fairly close game, but I can see why you picked what you did for a score too. So hopefully we'll see a little bit more, but trying to think here. So Brian, stepping away from football a little bit, I know you kind of got some big news at the end of the week, and I know you had a video come out and you shared it on actually Friday's live stream was where you kind of talked about it when you were with Cindy and Sana, and then I know you did a video on it, and I know you talked about it a little bit on a couple different things, but not everybody's probably heard that. But why don't you go ahead and tell us what's going on with your big news that you had at the end of the week? And it's awesome to hear, so I want you to tell it again.
Yeah, so anybody that's been following my channel probably knows that I was diagnosed with AFib back in 2018. So that's where your heart, starts going into an irregular heartbeat, fast heartbeat. And I've been on medication, I think, I want to say since like maybe 2020 or somewhere in there, that I've been on medication for it, blood thinner and everything. And when I went to Carnivore, I'd say pretty quickly I noticed, like maybe in the first month or so, I noticed that the episodes I was having stopped. And I'm now 16 months into Carnivore, a little over 16 months, and I'm probably around close to 15 months since the last episode that I had. So I went to the cardiologist on Friday for another follow-up. And so he's really happy with where I'm at, not having any episodes, what my blood levels look like. The triglycerides are nice and low, and thinks that I don't have the risks that I had in the past. So he took me off the medication, which included the blood thinner. So no more blood thinner. So I don't have to worry about cutting myself open and dying or something from bleeding to death. So yeah, it's big thing for me. I still do have blood pressure medication that I'm taking. It's like the low dosage, but my pressure's good, but it's not like too low to where I would say like, yeah, I should come off the medication. So I haven't done that yet. But in terms of the, AFib, going off of that medication is pretty big. The one medication actually, I think was one of the side effects was actually to increase triglycerides. So I think my triglycerides are going to go down even more than what they were. They were 107 the last time that I had them checked. So pretty happy about that.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome news, Brian. Congratulations. I know that's a big deal. I mean, that's even more so than like even just the weight loss and everything else going on. I mean, that's just huge news, and I'm really happy for you and looking forward to continued improved health in all areas. So that's pretty awesome news, Brian. And I get a couple comments here. Yep, way to go, Brian. Definitely. That's pretty awesome. So all right, I guess it looks like they're doing the national anthem now. So the game is getting close to kickoff. And yeah, that's some great news though, Brian. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. And, if you have any questions, go ahead and put a Q in front of them. We'll try to answer them as best we can. We've got a couple guests on tonight. One's due on about 7:30 here, and the next one is on at 8:30. So definitely have a good topic tonight, talking about Thanksgiving meals and planning for that and how to stay on plan, especially when you get all these good food items. That'll be a good thing. So definitely. All right. Let's see here. I got your message, Brian. So let's see here.
Okay, cool.
Just wanted to let you know. Let's see. We talked about that. And then let's see. No questions yet tonight. Looks like the game is getting close to kickoff here. We're actually going to have a guest on a little bit sooner tonight, and that's okay because we love having our guests on. They bring a lot of energy. It's kind of fun because you can ask them questions too. Kind of like I said, hey Chuck, how you doing? It's been a while. Hope you're doing good. Good to see you on here, and definitely. So, Brian, what'd you think of my I quit video the other day?
I do understand and get it. But the first thing I was like, I was thinking was like, no, Greg, you can't quit. Don't give up, I mean, just think about all the people that are learning from you and getting inspired by you and that on your channel. So, your channel's worth it.
Yeah, it really is. I think it's just, I got a little frustrated and, obviously I have a lot going on in my life too. My mom's kind of at the end of her life. I'm going to be starting a job and, all the stress, let alone the holidays are coming up and, just kind of doing all the YouTube and everything else. Yeah, probably kind of got to me a little bit, but I just want to rest assured all the viewers that follow me, I'm not going anywhere. I'll keep putting out videos and doing stuff with Brian. Once I start working, I may not quite have as many videos going out, but that's okay. I kind of looked at it like you said, if you help one person, it's totally worth it. And, that's the whole reason I started doing this channel is to help other people make a difference in their life. And, I got to stay focused on that and continue to do that because I do know I am making a difference for people. And it was pretty evident as I saw reading all the awesome comments that people left me. They want me to keep going, and I'm going to do just that. So, as far as the weight loss goes, I'm going to keep doing that regardless. But it's one of those things, I think it's just getting burned out a little bit on the YouTube side of things, but that'll all change here soon once I start working and once I hit some of my goals. There's pressure. You want to hit your goals as soon as possible, and that's kind of one of those things too that I want to do too. So. So Chuck, looks like you got a couple of kittens and you lost 11 pounds, down 35. Hey, that's great. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
I just want to remind everybody, when it comes to weight loss, it is not a race. In our mind, we want to be at certain places, and that's fine. But, take one day at a time, 1 pound at a time. And, I guess, for me, it was kind of a race at first, and because I was dire. I mean, I had a lot of health problems, but, now that I hit that 100-pound mark, I guess you can say I'm relaxing a little bit, not being so uptight about, maybe not losing a pound or two that week. Or it's just one of those things that, I think, Brian, you do a really good job with this. You're not so focused on the scale, just all the overall health benefits. And hopefully, the weight drops as you do this, and I think you do a really good job with that. So I definitely need to be more like Brian. He's a great example for me. So, but yeah, congratulations, Chuck. That's great. Keep plugging away, my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Simpson's asking about the vegan carnivore debate with Chafee. I did catch that a couple weeks ago, actually, or I saw, I think Nicole had a replay on her channel of it, and I watched that one a little bit. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I know tonight she's doing something with Bart K, and they're kind of breaking down the whole video. They've been going at it for a while today, so definitely saw that. What'd you think of that interview, Brian?
I hate to say this, but I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah.
So I still have to see it. It's been busy. I have
Yeah,
a regular day job that is typically 40 to 50 hours a week. And
yeah.
then I'm
That's
spending time at home doing things and doing the YouTube channel.
that's
So
okay, my friend.
sometimes I fall behind on things.
Yep, it's okay. It's one of those things. It was kind of the moderator, I don't think, did a very good job with some of the things that were said, and you know how it is, like when people are on opposite ends of the spectrum, nobody really listens that well, and they'll talk over people. And I know the vegan doctor seemed like he's always talking over Chafee, never let him have a chance to really speak, and then the moderator just kind of let it continue, and it was kind of annoying. So that's the little bit I picked up on it anyway. So let's see here.
Well, the game just started.
Yep.
Bears got the opening kickoff, so they're about to start. Tyson Bagent, that's the quarterback's name.
Yep.
So they're getting started here.
So Chuck says the way to look at it is this: is our new lifestyle come with time, and it's true. Our bodies need time to heal. That is true too, before it gets going dumping on the weight. Yep, that is true. It takes time. It didn't come on all at once. It was over time, and sometimes it's the same way going off. So definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. Put a Q in front of it. So Brian, you've been really busy between work, family, and all these videos and interviews you got going on. I know you got an interview on Sunday that's coming up that's pretty cool. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah, so I have Dr. Tony Hampton's going to be on, and it's going to be one-on-one interview with myself, and then everybody that comes in and communicates in the chat. So that's going to be at noon Eastern on Sunday, so the 12th, so this Sunday. And come armed with your low carb related questions for Dr. Hampton. He's going to be able to speak about whatever it is, low carb, the ketovore, carnivore, whatever it is you want to talk about low carb, any questions you have for him and so forth. Just bring your questions and put them in the chat and so forth. If you have any questions that you want to make sure and you're not sure if you can get to that, and you're going to think you'll watch the replay, but you have a question, send me you can get on my channel my contact info and send me the question or whatever, and I'll make sure that we get to that question in the interview.
Yep, that's a great idea. I hope to tune into that one too. Let's see here. You ready for the game of the year, huh? There's some good ones coming up, I know too. So,
Well, Chicago's punting already, so
yeah, you're right about this one being the game of the year. All right. I was going to say, it looks like our first guest has arrived. We're going to bring him on shortly here. I'll make sure he's ready to go, and we'll bring him on here. And all right, looks like he's ready to go. We're going to bring him in here, and welcome to the show, Dave. How you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing? Sorry, I was muted there for a second. How you doing?
Doing awesome for sure.
Excellent. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. So definitely.
Yeah,
I know, Dave, I haven't had a chance to meet you yet, but I have watched quite a few of your videos, and you do a great job with your guests and your interviews, and I'm pretty excited that you're here with us tonight. So welcome.
Thank you. It's a little, I've just finished up, I'll just adjust my camera. I've just finished up an interview. It's funny to be kind of on the other side of things. You know, it's like, oh, I've actually got to speak now. It's
yeah. For sure.
Yeah. So yeah, really good to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. And I know you've met Brian before and done some stuff with him, but definitely. With that said, I guess, Dave, in case there is somebody watching that hasn't been to your channel, why don't you tell us a little bit about your channel and what you're doing over there?
Sure. So, okay, well, my channel is called No Carb Life, and the channel was started after I discovered Carnivore and just realized, you know, we've just been lied to this whole time, and lied to or misled or misinformed, and I was just a little bit angry, and I decided I want to kind of, as much as I can, get the word out there about how much better you can feel on this way of eating. And so I've been on this way of eating for about 18 months now, and yeah, feeling awesome. It's improved so many things in my life, and also greatly increased my circle of friends. You know, it's been great.
Oh, that's really awesome. For sure. I just wanted to point it out. If any of you guys have a question, go ahead and throw it out there, and I'm sure Dave would be happy to answer some questions. I know we're pretty excited to have him here. Brian, do you have any questions for Dave right away that you can think of? Go ahead and start it off here.
Sure. So, Dave, how you doing? First of all,
I'm doing really well. Yeah, doing well.
Great. So the last time we talked, we were talking about how way back, I think it was like 20 years ago, you had a stroke, and how more recently with being on Carnivore, you've actually seen some symptoms getting better. Do you have an update with how that's doing?
Things just continue to improve. I think the balance is like, it's so gradual that like day to day or even month to month, it's not all that noticeable. But over a period of a year, the balance and the way I'm walking has just gradually got better, and I feel like I'm walking more coordinated, in conjunction with not having the arthritis anymore. Like I can take on stairs like nobody's business anymore. But since the last time we've spoken, I think the main thing that I have noticed is that I do have a little bit of improvement on my eye. So my whole right side was affected by the stroke, and that I mean, you can probably see it in the video now. Like there is a difference in my eyes, and this one's a little bit lazier. But it's, you know, over the last few months, it's not quite as lazy as it was. You know, it feels more open. It feels like when I see myself on the screen, it feels a little bit more balanced. So, yeah, that's improving.
That's great. That's great. So there was something else I was thinking I was going to ask you. Of course, now I can't remember. Boy, what was it?
Isn't that the way it works?
Yeah, it usually is. But I do want to say, well, while we got you on the big screen here, I'm going to butter you up here a little bit, because I want everybody to know that when I first started doing Carnivore, so he started his channel right about the time I started looking around on Carnivore stuff. I think I already started Carnivore, but it was really close, right? And I found your channel and I started paying attention to your channel because for some reason I was able to connect easily with you. Just the way that you talk and everything is just easy to connect with. And I also knew that I would be going through the same things that you were, because I was just right behind you in the journey, right? So I've been a big fan since the beginning. You know, I've told you that before, but I just want everybody to know, you know, Dave's a great guy. I'm sure you're probably all already subscribed to him. If you're not, go to his channel and subscribe. He puts out content all the time. He has great interviews. And yeah, I can't say enough about the job that Dave Mack does in the carnivore space.
That's very kind of you to say, Brian. If you don't mind, if there aren't any questions waiting, do you mind if I ask both of you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So people often talk about things like non-scale victories. What for you? What is the number one improvement that you've had that you never expected?
Go ahead, Brian, if you're ready.
That I never expected. So, wow, that I never expected. That's the big one. So I'm always big about talking about my AFib, because you know that's huge. And like new news I just got like Friday, so you probably haven't even heard this yet. When I went back to my cardiologist, he's so happy with the progress that he took me off the AFib medication. So I'm completely off the medication now.
Awesome.
So that's big. I don't know if I ever thought that it was going to get to that point, but I did think going in that there was a chance that I could make AFib better just based on some of the videos I watched. But I don't know that I thought that it was going to get to this point. Like I am like 15 months now without a single episode and 16 months on the carnivore diet. So for me, that I guess that's what I would say is my biggest non-scale thing. How about you, Greg? You're muted, Greg.
Sorry. Sorry, guys. I was going to say, back when I started my weight loss journey back in January, I thought I was going to be disabled the rest of my life. I really didn't know if losing the weight would help with all the arthritis that I had in my back, my knees, my hips, my ankles. And, you know, after dropping 100 pounds, it's completely changed my life. Now, I didn't think that would necessarily happen, I guess you could say. You know, I wanted to take off weight, but I thought, man, I'm still going to have a lot of back issues and problems. But it's gotten to the point now where I'm so much more mobile, flexible. I'm actually looking at going back to work. So I guess, you know, I got my life back, and I didn't think that would necessarily happen when I started this journey. So to me, that's the biggest non-scale victory, is just being able to move around again and bend over and walk, and you know, I can go to the store now and not get tired and be in a lot of pain. You know, I guess that's my biggest thing that really helped me a lot, and it feels amazing.
It's really those things that the AFib and the arthritis and the joint pain and stuff like that, you know, people can't see it. And, you know, I always liken this to like water in the house, like water, electricity, or something, you don't think anything about it, right? It's the same with our health. We don't think anything about it. But then when it's gone, you miss it. You miss it a lot. Like the other day, they had our water turned off for maintenance for a couple of hours. And that couple of hours is like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I couldn't wash my hands. I couldn't fill up the kettle. And, you don't miss it until it's gone. And that's you don't miss your health until it's gone, right?
Yeah.
And when it comes back, it's life-changing.
Mm-hmm. Definitely is. Yeah. So Greg, there was a question, and so it's Low Carb Carnivore first at 7:20 your time. He had a comment, and then he built on it with the question at 7:21.
All right, let me see here.
He or she, I'm sorry, I don't know.
You said 7:21.
Yeah, so first was 7:20
was
where
it
they
this one right
talked
here?
about the sun. Yeah, but if you start with 7:20, that'll give us the context first.
Alrighty.
For the question. There we go.
There we go. Yep.
So I'm trying like crazy to get my son on board to at least do keto. I told him I'm not buying you any more junk. He is going to have to start eating better. He has the opposite problem. He is underweight. Okay, and then we go to the question. Any suggestions on how to get him to eat better? So Dave, what do you think on that one?
I'm interested to know, to get my son on board. I'm interested to know how old your son is. I have a feeling that, he's probably at an age that it's very hard to reason with him. Like if he's a teenager or something, it's probably, I'm right, that's it. He won't, he's not going to be listening to, he's 16. Yeah. Okay. So I think what you got to do is really just lead by example, and just you can't force it, because the more you force it, or the more you try to force it, the more he's going to push back. And so I think I would be trying to lead by example and try to subtly show the benefits that you're getting that might be meaningful to him, just, in your day-to-day interactions with him, I guess. Brian and Greg, do you have any other thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think that you're spot on with the point that if you really force him, he's just going to rebel against that. So it's a very tricky subject, right? Like you said, lead by example. If they see the changes in you, hopefully they'll eventually get it. I have 3 kids of my own, one that's 18 and 2 that are 20, and they're not doing this type of way of eating. And I think they're just going to have to mature before they realize that maybe this is the right thing to do. So, I'm letting them do what they do, and I'm not buying them bad food or anything like that. But they don't live at home right now, so it's easy to not buy them anyway. But yeah, I mean, I'm not forcing them. I talk about what I do and how things are going for me, and they see it, but they just don't seem to be ready to change the way that they eat themselves. So what do you think, Greg?
Yeah, I think lead by example is a big one. I think of my son, and he's just the opposite of me. He's just a beanpole. Doesn't gain any weight. And, here I'm a big guy, but, all of my kids now, I have 2 daughters and a son, and my son's the youngest, and he's a sophomore in college. But, they've been able to see me on my weight loss journey and seeing what I'm doing. I think they're learning and taking it all in, but they're going to choose what they want to put in their mouths too. And I'm kind of like Brian. None of my kids are at home right now. My 2 daughters live in Omaha, and my son is off at Iowa State University studying. But it's one of those, they see me when they come home or when we have the holidays, and they realize that I've changed my eating, let alone my wife. I mean, because my wife's lost over 30 pounds too, doing keto, right along with me. So, between the two of us, it's like, well, we've lost over 130 pounds this year. And it's just, they're taking notice. And I think if, one of those things where if they do have a weight problem, maybe they're going to reach out to us and ask us, hey, what did you do? You look great. And, but they're kind of living their lives. And until someone chooses to do something different, they're going to keep doing what they're doing, I guess. But you still lead by example, though. I think that's, like you said, Dave, that's a big deal.
I'm just looking at the one of the later comments from Low Carb Carnivore, and it says that one, that's it. He got confused when I told him I'm not buying him any more ketchup. He said, why? I said it's mostly sugar. I think also part of the problem is, like, when kids are at school and stuff and everyone's eating the same kind of thing, and it's hard to understand, I think, looking back, it's a long time ago, but I'm trying to imagine my childhood. It's hard to imagine why something might be bad for you when all the advertising tells you different.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just that constant reinforcement and hoping that you're planting enough seeds so that whether it's in a year's time or 4 years' time or 10 years' time, he's at least going to be able to look back and go, okay, well, now I might have to look at doing this.
Yeah. Cindy's saying get him some unsweetened ketchup. And then Primal Kitchen, she's saying, is a good brand. And let's see. Hello, John. How are you doing tonight?
So we have an update in the football game.
Okay.
And I missed part of it, but I believe it was a punt return. Carolina punt return for a touchdown, 7-0.
Oh, okay.
So
good deal. Dave, why don't you tell the viewers, like I said, there may be somebody on here that has not seen your channel before. Why don't you tell them where you live? I think that's pretty fascinating.
Well, I live in Japan. I live in Osaka, Japan. And I've lived here it's coming up on 18 years. It's about 17 and a half years now. And I grew up in Australia, which is where the accent's from. And I was born in Scotland, which is where the complexion's from. And it's I've been in Australia since I was 6 years old, so I can't even fake a Scottish accent. But Japan's just this really easy place to live. And but before I went carnivore, one of the things I loved about Japan was the beer in vending machines. It's very nice walking home after a hard day at work and knowing on the street, on any corner you get to, there's going to be the potential of a can of beer. And but I'm over that now. But it's just a great place to live. Yeah,
that's awesome.
And if I remember correctly, it's hard to find steak there. It's really expensive. Is that right? Steak?
It's super expensive.
Yeah.
Now, that I was really reminded about that. So you can get steak here. And, if you go to go to the supermarket, there's going to be not much, right? You have to go and seek it out at more of a specialty kind of place, which means the price is going to be high. And if you go to a restaurant, the kind of steak you're going to get, you'll pay, I don't know, $20, $25 for a steak. And it's going to be pretty bad, like kind of gristly kind of, and this was really, I really felt this going back to Australia recently, because I was eating like steak twice a day. I was just, I was staying in a hotel, so I was just going to restaurants and, lunch steak, dinner steak. And the steaks were just so good. And it was like, oh, I wish I could just go out and get a steak like this in Japan. But if you get a steak like that in Japan, it's going to cost you like $300-$400. It's like crazy. Wow. And they're going to probably be using seed oils and stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I stick to ground beef mostly.
All right.
So you mentioned lunch and dinner. So I know the last time we talked, you were just at the point that you were talking about that you needed to start going with a second meal. That you, for the longest time, you were OMAD. So I take it you're still doing the 2-MAD right now?
No, that kind of stopped. I'm back on OMAD, and it's just like breakfast only now. I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe I was more stressed than I would have been otherwise. My job was coming to a close, that kind of thing. Like, I think, I think I was just a bit more stressed, and that was making me more hungry. So I'm not feeling like eating that much anymore. And the 2 meals a day in Australia, that was purely because the steak was so good. Like, I just couldn't stop. I couldn't say no to that. And to tell you a story about that, I had a meetup when I was in Australia with this whole group of carnivores. There's a Facebook group called Aussie Carnivores, and we arranged to meet up together. And it was awesome. And I met one of the guys I'd interviewed, and that was a blast. And I met Rod from Stay Strong Live Long. I always said the name of his channel backwards. I may have said that wrong, but it's Live Long, Stay Strong, Live Long. I'm not sure, but and I met Rod, and that was great. And we just had this great night, and it was so nice to have dinner with just carnivores. And like, when they took our order, literally everyone was kind of saying to the waiter, remember, no seed oils, no basing, just chicken butter. With the group photo, it's kind of funny because everyone's sitting with their meal in front of them, and there's nothing green in sight. It's really cool. And one of the ladies that came along, actually the lady that organized it, she brought along 2 blocks of butter with her just in case she needed to add some more fat to the meal, and she was sharing her butter with everyone. So it was a really cool night.
That is great.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you, Dave, and I don't know if you celebrate Thanksgiving over there. I'm assuming you don't, but I'm not sure. But any holidays that are coming up, what kind of foods do you plan for? What kind of meals do you have? How do you stay on plan? That type of thing.
Good question. So, one of the things I'm lucky about in Japan is that even when there's kind of holidays, they're more people in Japan tend to focus more on the I've got a day off, I can go shopping kind of thing about a holiday, rather than, okay, I'm going to relax and we're going to have a big meal and all that kind of thing. Like, there is actually a Thanksgiving Day in Japan, but it's not really celebrated as anything. It's more like just a day off to go and spend money and relax and that kind of thing. So, I don't have to worry so much about that. And Japan is kind of meat. It's easy to stay meat-based in Japan. So as a foreigner, it's easy to stay meat-based in Japan. If you are Japanese and you try to be meat-based only, it's going to be culturally uncomfortable and strange for everyone involved in that interaction. I think it's probably the same in Korean culture as well. because you constantly be quiet. Why aren't you eating any rice? You need to eat rice. You need to eat this. You need to eat that. Why? And like it would be rude if you were at a gathering, especially like a family gathering or something, to decline food that's offered to you. But if it's a foreigner, you can get away with anything, because they're just going to go, "Oh, you're just a foreigner. Yeah, you all do weird things, So, yeah, it's pretty easy because it is a very heavily meat-oriented meals,
Awesome. Looks like you picked up a subscriber there, Dave. That's awesome.
Thank you. Cheers. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Becky's comes to your channel too, because you do a lot of great interviews for sure. So
cheers, Becky.
Always nice to see those comments.
Yeah.
Brian, not to change subject, but was there an update in the game?
Yeah, so Chicago made a 49-yard field goal, and then there was a penalty, and they had to re-kick from 5 yards further back, 54 yards, and they still made it. So it's now 7-3. Carolina's in the lead still. Late first quarter, like 2:29 to go first quarter.
Awesome.
So I have a question. Like, what team are you supporting, guys?
Well, we're not really supporting these. So, all right. So, in the United States, the NFL, National Football League, they have a Thursday night game. So what we did is we came up with a low carb football party, and we're on every Thursday night throughout the game, whatever game is on. And we can't actually show the game or anything because, that would be like a copyright thing, but we can talk about what's happening in the game. And then we talk about like low carb, keto, carnivore, ketovore, whatever topics throughout the night, and bring in a couple of guests and so forth. So in this particular game, it's the Chicago Bears against the Carolina Panthers. I think we both picked Carolina to win, right?
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah. So we both picked
so far they're winning.
They are winning 7-3 right now. Yeah.
Okay. Is that, I know nothing about football. So is that a big lead or is that marginal or?
No, that's pretty close. Yeah.
It's a tight game.
So it's not like soccer, right? Because like 7-3 would be very far apart in soccer, right?
Okay.
Yep.
If it was soccer and it was 7-3, then they must be playing for like 3 days or something.
Right.
No, that was a good question though. I mean, if you haven't followed football or don't know, I mean, I'm glad you asked, because that's there's a different game every week. So we just kind of talk about the game and then obviously talk about low carb diets, keto, carnivore. So we it's kind of a little different concept, but we kind of, I guess we could say we have a regular crowd that comes in and hangs out. We talk a little football. We talk a little bit about food, diets, all that kind of stuff, I guess. So,
yeah. So, I mean, and these two could be kind of linked. These two topics can be kind of linked, right? Because like, I imagine, I've never seen a football game, but I imagine American football is pretty physically demanding. I wonder, because carnivore improves your stamina and stuff. I wonder if there's anyone in the football league doing carnivore.
We just had this question. Was it last week?
Last week,
before?
Yeah.
And the only documented case I could find is there was a safety that is doing a meat-based diet. So that's the only documented case I could find. Interesting enough, there's been a few players that were talking about doing a vegan diet. One, for instance, is Justin Fields, who has been hurt and out for like the last 4 weeks with an injury. And I think there was somebody else more recently too, that had talked about doing a vegan diet, but they were also having issues. So I kind of found that interesting, I don't know.
They would jump in very quickly and say correlation is not causation, but
I probably got our video flagged for that comment too.
Wow. I'm yeah, I can't imagine that a vegan diet would do much for their stamina.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. I mean, you need the protein for your muscles to perform too. So I don't, I just don't see a vegan diet working at all for that type of thing.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's probably why those guys are hurt.
So there was a boxer, what's his name? Canelo? Did I say that right? That he went, so he had been the heavyweight champion, and he had I don't know if it's heavyweight, I think it was heavyweight, but whatever weight class it was, he was a champion, and he had been doing really well, beating everybody. And he went to a plant-based diet, and he lost his next match after that. And then after that match, he's like, yeah, I switched out of that. I'm not doing that anymore.
So I was talking in a recent interview, I was talking with the interviewee that, like, over the next kind of 5 or 10 years, we think that carnivore is going to become the secret weapon of many sports people. And like they're just going to be going, oh yeah, I'm just on a regular diet, and but they're actually doing carnivore, and they're able to have better stamina and better staying power, better whatever. And it's just going to be like, it's almost like this legal form of steroid.
Yeah. I mean, you talk to the few people out there that you know of that are doing a carnivore based diet and doing sport. They talk about how they feel so much stronger, and they have just better, they're in better shape and so forth, and they can go longer and so forth. Dr. Anthony Chafee has interviewed a few of those people, and yeah, that seems like that is kind of gives them an advantage. So it's funny that all the teams really stress diet, but their diet is like a well-rounded diet. It's not, it's not like a carnivore diet in any way, that they don't eat like a high amount of protein and so forth. So it's interesting. I don't know why, but none of the teams have seemed to go to a that type of style of eating at this point. At least that I have seen, any of the sports teams that I have seen.
I like Chuck's comment right here. Like Dr. Sean Baker always says, he has not heard of any vegan bodybuilders. So makes sense.
And I mean, Sean Baker's the perfect example, right? I mean, he's just a machine. He put out a video yesterday or the day before of him running on the treadmill, and it's like he's just going for it. Like, normally the people of his age, they're going, oh well, I'm just getting older, it's time to slow down and stuff. It's awesome to see that carnivore can keep you in this kind of shape if you just it gives you the energy to want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's like old guy carnivore. I was watching one of his videos the other day, and he was over there doing push-ups. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's amazing how much better you feel at an older age, and how much you can do compared to somebody that's just eating a standard diet.
Yeah. I've never watched I've watched a fair few vegan videos. I've never seen one where there's vegans going, I feel 20 years younger. But nearly every carnivore video that you see, there are people talking about that. Like, I've never felt this good in my life. I feel like I'm in my 20s again, that kind of thing,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been amazing for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you think about that, Greg? I mean, like, just I can't say that I've ever, and again, I don't watch a lot of vegan videos either, but I can't say that I've ever heard of them talking about fixing things like arthritis and stuff like that. And like Greg, you've got perfect example with your arthritis, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
like I think Dave said earlier, that's a life-changing thing, right?
Mm-hmm. For sure. Definitely. There's a comment.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, look at Brad's comment.
Yep.
All muscle, not fat, and she just went, yeah.
Yep. Right on, Brad.
100%.
Yeah, Dave. We usually go. We go the full length of the game, so sometimes it's usually about 3.5 hours, isn't it, Brian? Pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is our
committed.
long life.
Yeah, we usually 2 guests on. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll have a second guest on a little bit later, and
okay. Oh, nice.
It's crazy.
So, oh, go ahead.
No, you're good. Go ahead. I was gonna ask you a question, but you can go ahead.
Okay. I was just gonna ask, like, you guys now, are you eating 1 meal a day, 2 meals a day, 3 meals a day? What point are you at now?
Greg, you want to catch that first?
Yeah, I do 2 meals a day. Usually I eat breakfast at lunchtime, and then I'll have supper, where I just do a meat item. Tonight was actually steak and eggs tonight. Actually, I had a little ham too. So, yeah, that's usually how I do it. And at lunch, I had eggs today too. So I eat quite a bit of eggs. I enjoy that, but I try to mix it up a little bit too. So.
Nice. And how about you, Brian?
Yeah, so for me, it's changed a little bit. Like back in the spring, I was for quite a while there, I was doing OMAD where I was just eating once a day. But now most of the time I'm 2MAD. So I'm eating just when I'm hungry, right? So there's some days that I don't get hungry again, and that's all I eat. And then other days, most days I would say I end up eating twice a day. The main difference I think that I have is that I don't seem to be able to eat as much in one setting as I was back, 6 months ago or so. I was easily eating 24, 28, even maybe 32 ounces of steak at a time. Good example today, I had a 24-ounce steak, and I think I ate maybe about 18 ounces of it, and I couldn't eat anymore. So then the rest I ended up having with some eggs for dinner this evening. So I've been pretty much eating 2 meals a day lately. And I'm not really sure why that is, that I can't seem to eat as much in one setting, but it's been that way for me lately.
I feel like over time, your tastes and the quantity you want just seems to change, like for various things in your life, right? It's like, I had that period I went through that I went to 2 meals, and then I've kind of gone off that. And the other thing I've noticed that changes for me is I still drink coffee, and my sensitivity to coffee and the taste of coffee goes in and out as well. Like same amount of coffee, or I should say, like one day I might have a weaker coffee, but it'll actually taste stronger to me, like just because something's happening with the way I taste stuff. So I think it kind of, I don't know why, but it just seems to go in waves.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Chuck says on here he's got an on-scale victory. He's no longer as hungry as when he first started. He's eating less and he gets full easier now. And, I think that will vary for everybody on the time of the year and whatever's going on. I mean, sometimes I'm definitely more hungry than others for sure. So, yep.
So we do have another update in the game. Carolina kicked a field goal, so they're now up 10-3.
Okay.
Oh.
So a touchdown will tie that for the other team, Dave. As long as they kick the extra point, it'd be 10-10.
A touchdown is 7 points.
6, and then they have to kick an extra point for 1, or they could go for 2 and just run another play. But that's like they have to score get in the end zone. So they don't go for 2 very often, but once in a while, usually they kick it though for the 1 point. So
did Greg or Brian, did either of you play football throughout your life?
Yeah, I did. I played in college football too. So, yep. Football's been in my life about my whole life, I would say. I played a lot of backyard football with the neighborhood kids, and back when I was growing up, soccer wasn't that big here, so there wasn't teams or leagues or any of that. Now there is, so you can play soccer, you can play football, yeah, definitely. Wow. Brian coached football some, didn't you?
Yeah, youth football I coached for, I don't know, like 10 years or so, and I was also like president of the Coaches Association in my county for like, I don't know, 6 years or so, something like that. So I do have a lot of experience with the coaching side of it. That was a good point that was on there from Low Carb Carnivore, though, about our bodies
right here,
gets to the point. Yeah, our bodies gets to the point where it finally gets all the nutrients cut up, and that it was missing so much. In turn, it takes less than when we were first started and deprived. So yeah, that could definitely be it too. The interesting thing is, like, I feel like I might be eating a little more than I used to, though, because it's in 2 meals. So I can't eat as much in one setting, but I think I'm eating more altogether, which is kind of interesting. And I know like Carrie from Homestead How talks about that, how he eats more now than when he first started doing carnivore. So I don't know. So Dave, I was going to ask you, so I know you do a lot of interviews and so forth on your channel, but what do you have coming up here in the next few days?
The next few days. So probably more interviews. I wanna get a Bellshine video out at some point, but I need to find a good enough video for her to mock by agreeing with it. I've got a video coming out today with a guy who's done really well on carnivore, and he's well into his 50s and doing awesome with carnivore and weight training and stuff. So yeah, please look out for that one.
Great.
I was going to say, Becky had a question here. Do any of you follow Michelle Hearn, the registered dietitian turned animal-based, who is an ultra long distance runner? She wrote The Dietitian's Dilemma, proves you can perform without carbs. I guess I'm not familiar with her. How about you, Dave?
I have seen little clips here and there of her, but I've never seen a long form video. I know that. Excuse me, there's an interview with her on Wired for Healing channel, and I think I have a feeling Anthony Chafee's interviewed her. I'm not sure. Yeah. Brian, have you had much?
Yeah, I'm not familiar. The name, The Dietitian's Dilemma, sounds familiar though. So I mean, I haven't read that book, but maybe I've seen that book somewhere, but I'm not familiar with her name, Michelle Hearn.
Okay, so Instagram, it looks like maybe she's on from what Becky's saying here.
I haven't used Instagram as much as I should have. It's just every time I go into it, I think it's my age or something. I don't know. It just seems so confusing for me. Like I think I'm expecting everything to work the same way that Facebook works. And then when you go into it and it doesn't quite work that way, when you press something, you go a video starts or something. It's like, So.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to figure out how to do certain things in Instagram. And my wife would just look at me. She's like, how do you not know how to do that? I'm like, I didn't grow up with this. I don't know.
And she must be on YouTube too. So
okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
If anybody has any questions, especially for Dave, go ahead and put a cue in front of it.
Any questions? Oh my goodness.
He's usually the one asking all the questions, that we should be loaded up with questions for him.
And Dave, I know you do have to go a little early, so just let us know when we get that cut off that you got to drop off.
Sure. I've got about 10 minutes and then I'll have to head off. Yeah. Cheers.
So you got 10 minutes to get your questions in.
Yeah. Please, guys, give me a question. Oh my goodness. Yeah. In the meantime, can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Sure.
So Carnivore is really good for helping us to feel better, to lose weight and all that kind of stuff. And also in terms of body composition or recomposition. Do you have any kind of fitness goals outside of Carnivore over the next, say, 12 months?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer this if you want, Brian.
You can tackle it first.
I was going to say, when I first started my weight loss plan, I didn't exercise for probably the first eight months, pretty much. I shouldn't say 8 months, probably like 7 months. And then I did some physical therapy and now I'm walking again. And I keep telling my wife, we need to join the gym. I want to start working out, lifting some weights, doing some more walking, just to continue on with the strength I build up from physical therapy. I think that's kind of important. Plus I just feel like it. I feel like my body wants to work out now, where before, I couldn't do that. I'd be in so much pain. And I walked away from a job because I was in so much pain back in September of last year. So it's one of those things I'm getting to the point now where, I need to move my body and exercise because I'll feel a lot better. And, I have been going for some walks, but now where I live, it's starting to become winter's coming on real soon, and it won't be so nice to walk outside. But, where there's a will, there's a way, or like I said, join the gym and do some other things. So for sure. How about you, Brian?
Yeah, I'll just answer real quick because I see a couple questions came in.
Yep.
For me, about 6 months ago, I was doing a better job of working out, lifting weights and so forth, and I kind of slacked off. So I want to really get back into doing that. And I know I've been saying that for a couple of weeks now, and I still haven't done it. But I got to get the garage set back up with the weight bench and so forth again. So I'll be doing that. But that's kind of like, I don't want to necessarily be like real muscular or anything like that, but I just want to get better fit, better shape, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Dave. Have you picked up on the language since moving to Japan? I'm assuming you have because you've been there for a while, but.
So in 17 and a half years, I should be near native, but I've become very good at pointing. So I'll have that one and that one. My Japanese is at a level where I can kind of listen into a business conversation. I can kind of understand what's going on, but I'm just so slow to respond, and it's just it's not good. And because I'm so slow to respond, I don't practice enough. And so it's never gone anywhere. So, my Japanese is what could probably be described as hetakuso, which means awful. Oh, it
looks like Brad has a question for you too, Dave. You look like you're wearing camouflage. Are you a hunter, or if so, can you hunt in Japan?
I'm not a hunter. This is just like a sports kind of top that kind of keeps you warm. It's can you hunt in Japan? I think you can. You need like lots of different permits and stuff. Like Japan's a very kind of bureaucratic place in terms of that, but like the people hunting wild boar here all the time, I think I guess you would call them hogs in the US. There's a lot of them, like very close to the city. There's some within a very short train ride distance of here. But is it common? I don't think so.
Interesting. Good question, Brad. Here's another question. What does Dave think about doing parody videos like wearing a pink wig, etc., to increase the entertainment value of his platform?
So yeah, look, I like parody videos. Yeah, I think that parody videos kind of anything that's entertaining and has some kind of element of teaching something is good, right? Because people are engaged by things that they might find funny or somewhat interesting. And if there's something that you can kind of, some message you can get across through that, I think that's valuable.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, guys, I better head off. I've got another interview coming up. So, thank you so much for having me on, Greg and Brian. I really appreciate it.
Well, yeah. Thank you, Dave. We appreciate you coming on, and it's nice to meet you. And maybe I'll look you up down the road, and we can do a collaboration. That'd be awesome.
Definitely. Thanks a lot, guys.
Right. Thanks,
Take
Dave.
care. Thanks again.
See ya. Bye.
Just for the viewers, you can find Dave's channel right here, No Carb Life at Zero Carb on YouTube. And he does a lot of great interviews with a lot of different people. So, I'm guessing you're going to pick up a lot of knowledge if you watch Dave's channel, just because you're going to be exposed to so many different people. So if you have not been to his channel, make sure you go check it out. I know Brian has mentioned Dave many times, and someone he's looked up to in the YouTube community. So make sure you check out his channel if you haven't. That's for sure. Wouldn't you say, Brian?
Yes, definitely. Like I said earlier, I really look up to Dave. It's very easy to just connect with him when I started watching his channel. And we've collaborated a few times. He interviewed me, I interviewed him. We've done a few live streams together. He's a great guy. And yeah, just check him out. Check out his channel if you don't know him.
Yeah, I was told early on to reach out to Dave sometime, but now I met him, so I probably will reach out to him and do something with him down the road. That'd be cool because he's a really nice guy and I like him. So for sure. Yep. Dave is great. So, and we had some nice thank yous for Dave as well. So, do you have a game update at all there, Brian?
Not really.
I think it's 10-3. I see
10-3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got something here to kind of go in a little bit of a different direction here for a minute.
Yeah.
So you can probably tell there's something different about me here. Like I shaved a little bit, and just wondering, go ahead and put it in the comments. Does it really look like I have that much of a baby face like I think I do? Do I need to let the beard grow back again?
It's kind of funny because I was going to introduce Brian as Mr. Clean tonight on the show.
There is some hair up here.
But I will say this. I'm not going to put mine in the comments. I'm just going to say him. I think Brian looks younger. He looks good, though. I mean, I think he looks great, whether he supports the goatee or not. You definitely look younger if you ask me. So, but I think it looks great. So, no, Brad, I've not done the sardine challenge yet. I don't think I will either. Baby face all the way. You're the kid on the baby food jar.
Is that the Gerber thing?
Yeah, Gerber baby.
Start calling me the Gerber baby.
That's awesome. Yeah, Brian definitely looks younger. He's got me thinking I need to shave off my goatee here sometime, but I think I need to lose a little bit more weight before I do that. Then I probably maybe will. And I'd love to get to my goal weight and then just do a total makeover and just kind of show up and see if anybody recognizes me. That'd be kind of fun to do just once. You know what I mean? You have a room full of people you haven't seen forever, and you just kind of show up and see if they even know who you are. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Big reveal. I remember they used to kind of didn't they used to do that on Biggest Loser? Didn't they have like a big reveal that night of the competition or something? The finale. That was always kind of fun to watch. Boy, they sure put out a lot of work in the gym. I don't think I could keep up with that.
So I got to tell you, after I shaved, the first video I did, I recorded the video and I went into my editor and started editing it. I'm looking back and I'm like, who is this guy? This doesn't even look like me. What the heck? So I don't know.
I think it looks good. You should keep the look for a while.
Though, just that little bit of mustache and beard, and it makes you look so different. It's weird.
Yep, definitely. Michael's wondering what was different, that you looked younger. So you definitely look younger. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I think so. Football party, but baby.
Yeah. My wife told me that I do look younger because there was gray in my beard and now you can't see the gray. So she said I'm just hiding the gray. That wasn't really my intention, but I guess whatever.
You said you could tell the difference when you're, yep, that's cool. Yeah, it took me, I want to say I started noticing a difference at maybe the 40-pound mark, maybe a little bit sooner with the face, but the rest of my body, it took me 40 or 50 pounds to really start to notice a difference, for sure. But, it all depends on how big a person is too. So for sure. Did you see Bill Knott's update the other day that just came out? I think it was yesterday. He ended up going to the ER. Yeah. But I see he weighed in at, was it 515? I think. I think he said he weighed 515 pounds. So I thought that was.
So he was like originally 7 something, wasn't he?
Yeah, he thought he's around. Yeah, he thought he's over 700 pounds. So
that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it was like a 6-week period from when the nurse was there. He was like 590 something. So
yeah, you can definitely tell in his more recent videos that he looks a lot thinner than he used to look. I mean, just like me, he's got a long way to go still, but he looks so much better than he used to. It's incredible.
Yeah. I hope his health problems all straighten out for him and stuff. He's a good guy, and he's on a heck of a journey, just like a lot of people are that are out here in the community. So, for sure.
Yeah. Boy, I gotta tell you, there is not much action going on in this game. It's still
we kind of knew that was going to be the case, unfortunately.
Chicago's kind of moving down the field, but who knows? They might throw an interception because I don't know. That quarterback, I'm not trusting him very much right now.
Yeah. Hey, I just want to throw this out there too. Brian and I do accept super stickers, chats, and thank you. So please consider supporting us. You don't have to. We just put it out there and make you aware that is out there. And then go ahead, Brian. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, buddy.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, I think he threw like 3 or 4 interceptions last week. So,
okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to tell when we're always around ourselves. That and the mirror lies. The mirror does not tell you the truth. Pictures will, but the mirror doesn't. So I don't know. Have you found that out, Brian? That the mirror kind of lies to you.
Different mirrors. Yeah, and different mirrors are just different, right?
Yeah.
Like some mirrors, I look at myself and I'm like, wow, I thought I looked a little thinner than that. And then other mirrors, I'm like, wait a minute, I know I'm not that thin at this point. So it's weird. It's like, depending on the mirror, and I know I'm not talking about like going to like a carnival and they have those weird mirrors or anything. I'm just talking about like a normal mirror. They can all be different. It's weird.
That reminds me, my wife was looking at her phone and she found some new pictures of me from back in 2020. So you will start seeing some new pictures of me before. And I think I was the biggest I ever was back then. You're going to be blown away when you see them compared to where I am at now. I just was like in shock when I saw them. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So that'll be kind of fun to see. And I'll start putting some of those out in my videos too. It's kind of fun to see a little different perspective and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I was huge. I just like, wow. It'll be fun to show those out, bring those out, those so people can really see the difference. And I think my doctor said in 2018, I weighed in one day at 403 pounds. So yeah, that's just crazy. I mean, it's my old self already. And to think that I was that, struggling back in January with that. Oh, we have a scoring update, it looks like.
Yeah. So Chicago just made, I think it was a 36-yard field goal. So it's now 10-6. So far, that 13-10 prediction I said is still possible.
It's close. So's that 17-14. Well, maybe not, but it'll be close.
Of course, for it to be 13-10 Carolina, I guess Chicago would have to get a couple of safeties, so that'd be kind of weird. So it might end up being like 13-9 or 13-12. Well, I'm going to be completely off by the end of the game, but hey.
Chuck's is saying the stores, or he scares himself. I see, was it Coast? No, Toledo played last night, didn't they? Isn't that your old alma mater?
Yeah,
how did they do?
They did. They won.
Okay.
So I was in my live stream with
Carnivore Soldier,
and Kat, and I think I got to see it was like 35-3 at halftime. They were winning, and the final score ended up being like 49-23. So they're like 9-1 now. They clinched a berth into the MAC championship game for the second straight year. So that's pretty cool. So
nice.
Yeah.
I see Nicole is here. She was on a 4-hour live stream. She must have just got off of that. How did that go, Nicole? Thanks for coming in and seeing us after being on live for 4 hours. We're kind of getting you trained for Thursday night football because we're on 3.5 usually for this live. So. Awesome. If you got any questions, go ahead and put them in the front. Brian, I got to step away just for a second, but I will be right back, gang. If you want to just hold on, or Brian, go ahead and take it away. Whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. Yeah, so I think we're probably about 10 minutes away from our next guest. So we are going to have another guest coming in here pretty soon. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in. We haven't talked a whole lot about our topic for tonight yet, the Thanksgiving food. Just talking about eating low carb during the Thanksgiving time period and what you're going to do for Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. So we'll probably start talking about that a little more, especially with our next guest. But if you have any ideas that you want to put down or any questions for us, or just talking about, what you plan to do for Thanksgiving, go ahead and put that in the chat. And so I can't actually, because I'm not the host, I can't pop these questions or pop anything up on the screen, but there's a question that just came in from Simpson. Any hint on who the guest is? So I will just say that the guest is going to be, correct. Greg must have just done that in the background. I'm like, how did that just pop up? But anyway, I'll just say that the guest is probably going to be better at giving good recipes, particularly Thanksgiving recipes, than me, because I'm a pretty plain guy. And like when I start talking about recipes, I'm like, I eat steak with salt on it. You did that in the background, didn't you? You put the question up for me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
I had to take
I couldn't do it. How did that happen?
I had to take my fleece off. I was getting really sweaty.
There you go. Greg's baking some potatoes.
It's been forever since I've had a potato. I got to be honest. It's been a long time since I've had a potato. And they used to be one of my favorite things, but I haven't missed them, to be honest. We'll
Me
see
too.
come Thanksgiving if I can stay away from them. But,
It's been a long time for me too. It's been like 2 weeks.
it's 2 weeks. Brian, maybe it'd be a good time for us to talk a little bit about our Thanksgiving stuff, and then our next guest can go into all her stuff too. What are your thoughts on that? Should we do that?
Yeah,
Or do you
sure.
want to wait till she comes on and talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, we can start because we're probably going to want her to do a lot of the talking because I think she has some good recipe ideas. So I'll just
Hey,
go 'cause
Russ.
mine can be quick. Mine will be really quick. So
Yeah.
basically, I have the whole family coming in and nobody else is carnivore. And we're going to be eating late because my son and oldest daughter are coming in kind of late. So my idea is I'm going to cook up a nice steak early in the day and eat that and get pretty full from that. And then when we get to dinner time and we do the Thanksgiving thing, we're going to do like a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. It's like turkey and all that stuff. I'll have some turkey, maybe have some deviled eggs and stick with that. And I shouldn't need to eat more than that just because I'll have like a nice big ribeye or New York strip early in the day. And that's my plan. Again, very basic, right? I'm like not giving you a whole lot of recipes here. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this kind of low carb thing. Because the rest, I mean, like 8 people are gonna be here and I'm the only one that eats this way. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to do that for me. So
Yeah.
So what are you gonna be doing?
I'll be hosting Thanksgiving this year. And I used to deep fry a bird, usually have ham and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to do turkey a little bit different this year. I probably won't deep fry a bird this year. I think I'm going to get some turkey breasts that are already made up, and we're going to have some turkey and ham. As far as these are more of keto or low carb or carnivore type foods. I'm going to have turkey ham, going to have some deviled eggs, going to have those on hand. Another idea that came to me was having some bacon fried pickles. And I don't know if you've had those, but you wrap a piece of bacon around a pickle and you put those in the air fryer and it crisps up the bacon really nice. But it's kind of a nice little snack, especially if you like pickles. Another thing that I like to do, and that's probably more keto, same thing with the next item. They call it Lutheran sushi or like a Philly, I call them Philly meat roll. It's just like a piece of ham with Philly cream cheese on it. You put a sliver of pickle in it and roll it up and eat it. That's another thing. And then we'll probably have some side salad, just for the fact that some people do like salad. Obviously, we'll have the traditional stuff, but I'll have to stay away from that as much as I can. That'll be a challenge, especially when it comes to pumpkin pie, mashed potatoes, that type of thing. But it's one of those things. I'll do the best I can on it. That's the thing. We've got the November no weigh in November, so you got to keep that in the back of your mind too, because if you're blowing it, your December weigh-in's not going to be very good. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to cover a couple comments. Some people are guessing as to who the next guest is. Brad had a question. He was wondering if it was a fair catch or not for the Hawkeye game. I don't know if you ever saw that, Brian.
I heard about it, but I didn't actually watch the play, so I can't really comment. I'm not sure.
I think most people thought it was not a fair catch. It was, I don't know, it was pretty cheesy for replay to call it, I guess, when they didn't call it on the field. And everybody was trying to tackle him. So it's kind of goofy, but hello, Aaron. How are you? Becky's guessing that Ellie's on. And Simpson was thinking ketogenic woman. The quicker pooper picker upper for Aaron. That's funny. Yep, thick steak for Thanksgiving. There's nothing wrong with that. And actually, we're having our Thanksgiving on a Saturday at my house too, which is a first because usually we have it right on Thanksgiving. But I told my wife, it's like, yep, we're grilling steaks on Thanksgiving Day. That's definitely what we're going to be doing. So for sure. I know our guest is about ready to come in here. I'll just give her a second to be ready, and then we'll bring her on here in a minute. Let's see. Do you have a game update at all for us before we get into that?
Not really. Minute to go. Minute 22 seconds left. Carolina's at midfield. I'm about to do like the drums or whatever here for like the you know, I can't even talk, so I don't even know what I'm saying now. What is it? I just completely blanked. What is it like when you do like the drum roll thing? Drum roll. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
drum roll.
Doing
Gotcha.
the drum roll thing here for the new guest to come in. So who is it going to be? The anticipation is killing me.
I know one thing, the chat's really picking up here. So let's see here. I'm going to try and cover a few of these comments. Our guest isn't quite ready to be on yet here. Doing a planned cheat day on Thanksgiving. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I think if you try to eat stick to the meat, you're going to be good. But I know our next guest is going to have some amazing ideas for you. I watched her show a little bit earlier today, and she had some fantastic ideas. So I'm pretty excited about having her on tonight to talk a little bit about what she's got going on here. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get a couple more comments on here, and then we'll bring her on. Yep. Bacon with Philly. That's really good stuff. And yep, you can always watch the replay for sure. That's for sure. It's a mystery guess. Yeah, it's always a mystery on the Low Carb Football Party. That's just the way it is. So let's see here. All righty. Sorry, guys. And without further ado, we're going to bring our guest on. And here she comes. Ellie!
Hey.
How are you doing? Are you muted?
I took the tape off. Hi, guys.
There you
Hello.
go. Hello. How are you tonight?
I'm great. Are we winning? I don't know who's playing.
Carolina's winning.
Is that us? Is that
sure?
okay?
Yay. Yeah, we're winning. That sounds good.
Awesome. So I see some familiar faces in the comments. Hello, my lovelies. Hello.
Yep, there's quite a few people on here. A lot of chat. Try to catch up here a little bit. So Ellie, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and tell us a little bit about your channel, and then we can talk a little bit more about Thanksgiving stuff here in a little bit, but maybe just tell people a little bit about your channel, who you are, and that kind of stuff.
Okay, so my name is Ellie. I'm a mom and a wife. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son, and we are a carnivore family. Trying my best to be a carnivore family. We'll get into that. So I suffered with obesity, boils, skin tags, depression, depersonalization disorder. I struggled with brain fog. I was so depressed that I didn't really leave my house for 5 years. Like I ended up, because of my panic attacks, I ended up like dropping out of college. I stopped working. Like my life that I had built up to try and be like a better person, like, with school and working and having, like a boyfriend, fiance, who's now my husband, it's like I was trying to build this life for myself. And then I just felt like I couldn't lose the weight. I wasn't good enough. I had a lot of negative thoughts. I relied a lot on emotional eating. Like the cake in the fridge was always like, come eat me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I had 3 slices, but that's okay. And so it just kept getting worse and worse with my weight. My heaviest weight was 240 pounds, which I kind of held well a little bit because I'm 5'7", but still very unhealthy. And all those ailments that I talked about. I had irregular periods. I know you're guys, but it's important to say. I had very irregular periods, and I was not living. whatsoever. And then I found keto in late 2018, and everything changed. Like everything, like the weight started coming off, my depression lifted, I wasn't addicted to food anymore and sugar, which and coffee. But I think I still drank coffee then, but I've kicked. Spoiler alert: I kicked it with Carnivore. But yeah, hi guys, hi. So exciting! Like I actually just got off of with Lynn midlife Carnivore. I was telling my story with her, so I'm like, it's like doing a double whammy, and I'm so glad to be here. So if I'm like a little flush, it's like, hi everyone. And so, but with keto, I lost like 53 pounds in 6 months. I was able to get pregnant, and then my doctor. It's really funny because I was just talking to Lynn about this. She was like, but let me say it first because I'm getting ahead of myself. I was able to get pregnant with my husband. We had been trying a long time. My periods had gotten better with keto and every health overall. And then the doctor said, you need to stop keto because you're going to harm your baby. And I took that as gospel. I was like, okay, I have to stop. And like I had meat aversion. I was like, oh, this is why I can't eat meat. And like just like all the bad thoughts. And the sugar addictions came back. And so I had my daughter. Luckily, she was healthy. I had my son over a year and a half ago, very healthy. And I found Carnivore this year. I'm like on day 191. And I'm currently, from my heaviest, I'm like about 70 pounds down. So I'm in the low 170s. Thank you.
That's great.
And like the difference between keto and carnivore, I feel like I have more energy. I have more muscle. I have better clarity with my mind, even though like I don't even know how I was functioning. I guess I wasn't functioning because I was living in that bed. But just overall, I just feel so thankful to be alive and actually living. And I can be a good wife and a good mother. And, some days are hard. I'm not going to lie. Like it's, carnivore doesn't fix everything, but it fixes like 90% of the stuff. And I'm so happy to be here to, express that and share that on my channel, which is Nourishment Redacted. And the name kind of came to me. I kept seeing the word nourishment around, and I was like, yes, carnivore is nourishment. And I was inspired from Homestead Hal Carey's 30-day carnivore video where he was like, you should make a YouTube channel. You should tell people, don't forget your pain. And I was like, I don't want to forget my pain because I'm feeling so good. So I decided to do that. And that night, I had a dream where I was reading this big medical tome. I always say tome, like a big large book. And all of a sudden, like the important information about fat and everything was becoming black lined, redacted. And so like I woke up and I was like, the nourishment has been redacted. It sounds so corny, but it's true. And I felt my heart being pulled. And so I was like, I have to share this. I can't just sit here and feel so good without telling my loved ones, and then, like all you guys become like my friends and my little carnivore family. And so I make videos about my journey thus far, my successes, my fails, how I have a passion for educating parents so that they can feed their children better. And is that everything? Yeah, probably. That's it.
No, that's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've had a lot of success, so that's amazing. So great job with that.
I really appreciate that. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
There were a lot of lows in life.
Yeah.
I was just kind of sitting there, going down. So I'm really thankful to be here in this moment.
Yeah,
Sure.
it can be a rough road sometimes, that's for sure. But it looks like you persevered and had a lot of success. So great job. Keep up the good work. You're doing some amazing things. So for sure.
Thank you.
I was just going to tell the audience, if you do have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I did notice that Nicole had to leave, and I get why after her marathon live. So she's probably already gone, but good night, Nicole, and thanks for popping
Nicole.
in. We appreciate you. And let's see here. I want to make sure I didn't miss any questions in the comments here. Brian, did you have any questions for Ellie at all, or a football update? I guess that would be a good time for that.
Yes, so there's probably going to be an update in a few seconds. There's 3 seconds left on the half, and they just call a timeout. So we'll wait a minute or so here on the update for the game. But I do see a question that just popped in, so I think we'll just go to that question. And I can ask questions later if we need to.
Hi, Becky.
Do you see it at the bottom there?
Yeah. You want me to read it or you read it? I don't know.
Greg, can you bring it up on the screen?
Which one was it?
It's the last one from Becky at 8:39.
Oh, yep. I'll get it here. What are some of your goals for the coming weeks with regards to diet, health, and family?
All right. So let's remember what the holiday is that's coming up. Thanksgiving. Being thankful and having gratitude and enjoying your time with your family and friends. That's number one. Then, food, right?
Yep.
Let's put the emphasis on being with our loved ones. And my goals is that I'm going to continue doing the same things that I've been doing, that I've seen has helped me, because I don't ever want to go back. I know I'm human and I could indulge in some stuff, but I don't know if, like, because I had a food addiction, it's like I struggled with sugar, I struggled with carbs like pasta and rice and all that stuff. Overeating was really a struggle for me. So it's like I have to stay the course and focus on the family and friends. And I just recently came out with a video that might help you guys stay on the course, which is about like what I'm going to be serving at my Carnivore Thanksgiving. I'm probably going to be going to my mom's house, and I'll probably bring these dishes with me so that I can be prepared and stay successful. Oh, thank you, Brad. Thank you so much. And and I'm going to let my kids eat what they want. It's fine. Like I probably won't do like desserts and stuff, or maybe I'll make the dessert I made in my video, which is keto. It's not carnivore, but I know it's better ingredients than some like donuts and cake from the store. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I'm trying to be less dogmatic about the whole thing, and just like my kids are going to eat what they need to. In particular, my 3-year-old, my son, he'll probably just eat what I'm eating. He's fine. He loves meat. He's fine. My daughter will probably want crackers. She'll probably want rice, and that's fine. So,
how old are your kids?
3.5 and 1.5.
Okay, you got your hands full.
Babies. That's an understatement.
Those are fun times. Don't ever wish they were bigger though, because the next thing you know, they're grown up and out of the house. I mean,
yeah. It happens fast.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like, it was so funny. Like, something stressful happened today, and I kind of like stepped away just to have like a moment to breathe. And I was like, these are the best years of my life. Mm-hmm. Like, even though it's like hard in the moment, I remind myself that I'm going to miss these days. Mm-hmm. And so I try to be very present, because a lot of my life I wasn't present. I was just, trying to escape through media or food or, just always trying to escape. And so now I really try to be present, but it happens. But yeah, I appreciate that. How old are your kids, guys? Are they older?
Go ahead, Brian.
So I have boy and girl twins that are 20, and then I have an 18-year-old daughter. So they're all in college right now.
That's awesome. That's like my sister's age. My sister is 23. So
I was going to say, I have 3 kids. My 2 oldest are girls, 25 and 23. And my son, he's going to be 20 here in the day after Thanksgiving, and he's a sophomore in college. So, but it's funny when you're talking about, I see pictures when the kids are little, and I almost get teared up myself as a dad, just because I really miss those times. I wish I could have them back. It's just, that's why that time is so precious. And I'm glad that you see that, because sometimes people don't see that. And it's like, it's really important to take it all in, because they don't stay little for long. And you'll wish you had it back. So I'm glad to hear that you're noticing that. So it's a big
Thank you.
deal.
And you're going to experience that again when you become grandparents
Right.
later
Yep.
on. So you're going to relive like your child's first again, because it's going to be the child's first walk.
Yeah.
Child, and then you're going to see the glowing eyes in their face, and it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to be a grandparent. I can't wait, but I'm excited, like getting gray hair, and I like the idea of the cycle of life and the things that come with it. You lose some, but then you gain other things. Like, you're not going to have when your kids have grandkids, you're not going to be up all night with them. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, it'll be fun as a grandparent. You spoil them and then send them home.
Exactly.
They leave.
I was going to say, not to change the subject, but it looks like it is halftime, and it's 10-7. Carolina's beating the Bears.
10
They must
to
have
9.
or 10 to,
10
what did I
to
say?
9.
10-7. Sorry, 10-9.
Yeah.
They must
They
have kicked
did.
a field goal.
They made a field goal at the
Yeah.
last play there of the half, so it's 10-9. So my 13-10 prediction still sort of not really possible, I guess, but it's close, right?
Yep.
10
Do
to
you guys have a
9, I guess.
wager? Like, are you betting?
No, it's just
Oh,
for
that's
fun.
good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yep.
Don't gamble.
Yeah, if I bet, I would probably not have money, so that wouldn't be a good idea, because I'm horrible at predicting. I'm horrible at predicting games and choosing the winner and stuff. So
Okay,
we'll
cool.
see.
Just wanted
It's
to say hi to William there. And then, since it's halftime of the show, I think it'd be a good chance to talk a little bit about Thanksgiving and stuff. I know we talked a little bit about your channel, and I know I watched your video today and some of the foods that you made, and that's pretty cool. But that kind of brings me to our question, what kind of foods do you plan to eat for Thanksgiving and prepare for your family, obviously? Maybe you could share some of that with the viewers, kind of let them know what you got going down. I mean, I took notes, but I'm gonna go ahead and have you share what you're gonna do. So
Yeah, sure. So I know that we're going to my mom's house. So these are going to be foods that I bring with me, and then there's going to be foods that are going to be waiting for us at home, right? And the foods that I showcased in that video, which you can watch if you want, or you can just get the clip notes here, because I teach you how to make those things. They're pretty easy, so it's nothing too complicated. But so I learned about a cut of meat called sirloin cap, aka picanha. Everyone's talking about picanha. It's so good. It's just like the fat cap of the sirloin, and it's beef, and it's so easy to make with the technique. And I learned it from Christy from Eating Wellness. She's my buddy, and she taught me how to make it. And it's just so easy and very fatty and very filling. And I decided to go with the beef option for that particular video and what we're going to be doing. And because I know there's a lot of carnivores that cannot tolerate chicken or turkey, because they just can't. So it's a safer option, and it's very filling and satisfying. So you can think of it as having like a roast. That'd be a good choice for Christmas as well. And then I'm going to be making, again, the carnivore lasagna, because it was absolutely like home run. It was so good.
That looked really good.
I ate it for days. It was big. It was like this big, just like very heavy. It was very heavy. But it was absolutely delicious and satisfying, and I didn't feel like, there wasn't, it's all animal-based foods, and so you feel good eating it, and it's like a comfort food. I wouldn't recommend it every day, obviously, but for the holidays, absolutely. And so instead of noodles, it's based off of Maria Emmerich's version of the lasagna. Her video is a little different, so I kind of tailored it to me. But she uses, and I used turkey slices instead of noodles, and we made our own homemade Alfredo sauce, cream-based sauce, And then, you still have like the mozzarella, and I did ricotta because that's what I grew up eating, but you can do cottage cheese as well. And you just layer it all up, and it's delicious and golden bubbly. And yeah, so those are going to be like the main staples because I know there's going to be more food in my mom's house. Maybe I'll have some turkey. I'll have to stay away from my mom's stuffing because I love it, but it's very processed. It's not whole food. It's very processed. So yeah, those are kind of like the foods that I'm going to be focused on. And I also made like an appetizer and a dessert, but you can go watch the video right now. Those are not essential. The main courses.
Those look good too. I won't spill the beans because you can go over to her channel and check it out. Because like I said, I enjoyed the video and you made a lot of amazing food and stuff. So that
Thank
looks
you.
really good. I know this is kind of another question. It kind of goes in line with the other one, but how do you plan to stay focused on your food plan with all the temptation that could be around you and your gathering? I mean, I think of that at my party because we're having, I'm having all this carnivore stuff or, keto stuff, but also I know there'll be mashed potatoes. I know there'll be gravy. I know there'll be pumpkin pie. Do you have a plan, some kind of plan when you do see some of that stuff that maybe you ate in the past?
Yeah, it's going to be a test of will, I think, but I want to think of it as an opportunity. It sounds so silly. Let's let other people have more food. Let them enjoy the food. That's so silly. I just made that up on the spot. Yeah, I think I want to, like I said earlier, I want to remember where I've been and remember that this is what's working for me now. I want to give, clean carnivore an entire year's worth to see how well I'm healing. And then maybe I want to do some keto, but I do not ever want to go back to the standard American diet ever. That
Right.
was pure hell. It was like, just very, very emotional for me just to think about it. Not to get sappy, but I just like, it's a lot, and so I want to keep that in mind, keep the focus of being family and friends and have a good time. And if you feel like there's going to be like a sweet thing and you can tolerate it, maybe make your own keto dessert, like your carnivore, maybe make a keto dessert and just and save a little slice for yourself and give the rest away. Like don't make one and keep it in the house and then you eat it and you're like, I'm
Right.
gonna make another one. I'm going to make another one. Like it really depends on you and like where you are in this life. If you want to eat other things and you feel like the next day you can get back right on track, that's fine too. Like I'm not going to be like you have to stay on track, or you have to eat these foods, but for me, I'm going to remember my why and I'm going to focus on family.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet that you wouldn't go back to the standard American diet because a couple things that I've tried, they don't even taste the same, let alone you eat it and then you feel miserable anyways. So it's kind of, I don't think a person could really go back to that. I mean, I don't think I could. Just having a slice of pizza the other day, for example, I had one and God, I was so bloated and the pizza didn't even taste that great. It wasn't worth it. So,
Why did
I
I
think
do this?
I think that's one of those reminders, especially when you're looking at this food. I'm big on the mental part of things. And when I look at some of that stuff, one, I know what it tastes like. I don't need to taste it again. I always like to say, for that 5 seconds of pleasure in your mouth, it's just not worth it, to be honest, because you're going to have stomach problems. There's a lot of things that can arise from eating that stuff. So it's pretty easy to mentally just say, hey, that stuff's not worth it to me. Look at the pain that caused me. Mentally, that's how I look at that stuff now. I try to, so I stay away from it. I think that really helps. And maybe Brian could add something to that too.
Yeah. So, I mean, for me, like, let's see, how's the way I want to put this? I think that for me, Thanksgiving is going to be interesting because I think I've got a good plan, right? But I'm the only one that's carnivore, so like there's gonna be 7 people there that are not carnivore, right? So that's gonna be my biggest problem. Um, there's gonna be all kinds of standard Thanksgiving type of meal right there. So, but for me, I'm the type of person that like if I have something that I shouldn't, I really struggle with cravings after that. Um, so I think I got a good plan. Like I'm gonna do the whole I'm gonna eat a big steak early on, and then at the actual meal, which is gonna be later in the evening, I'm just gonna have some turkey and some deviled eggs. Um, but there's going to be a lot of other food there. So hopefully my idea is I'm going to be too full from what I'm eating that I'm not going to want to eat that stuff. But if I do have some of that, that's when I'm going to have a problem.
You know,
That's exactly, so that's kind of it, right? You know, I mean, it's like, I got a plan. Whether or not it's going to really work is the problem, but I do have a plan. So
Okay, good. And you know what? If you stray off and you feel like you did the best you could, like you ate the steak and you filled your stomach and you feel, you felt like carrots are sorry. I understand that. I feel like you don't beat yourself up over it. Like that's gonna just like cause like, it's not worth it in my opinion. Just be kind to yourself and just think about all the good that you have done. And it's not a good or bad thing. Like I'm just trying to think of the right words to say. It's just go with the plan, visualize it. Like I'm gonna walk in, my aunt is gonna give me like 10,000 kisses, and you're like, okay, and then you're gonna have a cousin that talks to you too much, and then you'd be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then you're gonna go, oh, hey, look, there's the pumpkin pie, and then you go, oh, hey, look, there's the game. I'm gonna go watch the game, and then it's like if you visualize it, maybe that would help. I don't have an aunt that kisses me too much. They all kiss me the right amount.
Russ is. I was gonna say Russ is brought right on that one. It's very hard. I find that when my kids come home and stuff, it's very hard for me to stay on plan. That's no lie, let alone the holidays. And I'm kind of like you. You have that aunt or that relative that when I was a kid, everybody pushed food on me. I was the big kid. Oh, Greg will finish it. Give it to him. And it was so wrong of them to do, but that's what people did. Brian, maybe you've been there too. He's the big guy. I'll let him have the food. Yeah, I'm sure Russ has had that happen to him too.
Yeah. But Greg, I agree with like what you were saying about like the pizza thing. Like, if I eat stuff that maybe I liked in the past, now I always regret it. Like it doesn't taste as good, and then I just don't feel very good afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, that's part of it. Like I really hope that I can stay onto my plan well, because otherwise I'm not going to feel good for at least a day or so, and I'm going to have those cravings to continue to do that. And that's when it really snowballs. It's like, that you're hurting yourself because you don't feel good, and yet you're still doing it because for some reason the sugar just makes your mind think you need more of it. So then you keep going after it. So yeah, I mean, it's funny because I've been carnivore for like over 16 months now, and I can do really well. But even at carnivore for 16 months, if I eat what I shouldn't, I struggle with those cravings. And there's other people I've talked to that have been carnivore for, a year or something, and they're like, yeah, I don't have any cravings at all. It never bothers me. I don't have that. So everybody's different, and I wish I didn't have them, but I do. So
yeah, I mean, you don't expect like an alcoholic to like, they have one drink, they're going like to stick with their sobriety. It's difficult. Like I have a lot of understanding for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Mike saying here. I always knew it as Mikey will eat it. He likes everything. Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
Remember like Mikey likes it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Exactly.
That's funny.
My sister, she would eat her food and never finish it and go, here, Ellie, here, you finish it. And like, I didn't get big until like I was like in my mid-20s. So like growing up, I was a pretty healthy weight, and then like those 10 pounds every year they kept piling on, and then I got bigger. But yeah, I always ate everything. Oh, Mike.
Brian, give
So,
him an
Mike,
update.
they are playing in the third quarter now. The Bears got the ball. It's still 10-9. Carolina's winning. Yeah, we've talked a little bit here and there about it, but you're right. Nobody really cares. It's the Bears and the Panthers. I'm sorry, Carolina fans, Chicago fans, but it's kind of true. Sorry. Mikey likes This Is My Life.
Yep. Life cereal. Yep. It's funny how those little commercials will stick with you all these years.
Oh yeah, I have a bunch ingrained in me, especially like cereal commercials. Oh man, those are made for kids to crave and want those. And then they put them in the grocery aisle right at the bottom at kid eye level. All the sugar junk, and it's just manipulation, honestly.
And then there's those cereal commercials where they talk about how they're so heart healthy for you because they reduce cholesterol.
Yeah.
Roll my eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing I overate. Cereal. I used to eat so many bowls of cereal. Oh my gosh.
Don't you find it's a lot different shopping at the store now that you've went carnivore versus before? It's like, well, 90% of the stuff you just walk right on by. But you realize how much of the food is junk food based on the quantity in the store. Just like there's always a whole cereal aisle, and it's like, that's not healthy for you. And then you look at some of the baking stuff, that section's pretty big too. The candy sections in stores are obviously really big usually too. And they're high profit items, I'm sure, let alone they're terrible for you. So
yeah, when I was shopping for my Carnivore Thanksgiving video, we were walking past the frozen section, and I was telling my husband, I was like, do you remember how many times in our life we've gone down this section for the pizza and the ice cream and the lasagna? It's like, all those things.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, doesn't it feel good? And I said to him, I was like, doesn't it feel good when you can just like walk through? And we're like, eh. And he was like, yeah, but how expensive is ice cream now? I want to know that. And I was like, oh, okay, let's go look at the price. So we just look at the prices. Like, it's like, oh my gosh, I remember when we ate it back then and how much it is now. So it feels good to not spend that money on those unhealthy foods.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Oh, Gail gave me an update on the Minnesota Wild game. It looks like they lost again. I usually miss their games because it usually seems like it's Thursday night, and then Tuesday night I'm usually doing an interview or something. So I haven't been. There's plenty of hockey season left, though. I mean, that just started, so I'm not too worried about that, I guess. I noticed. Yeah, you've definitely got some goodies that you're making for Thanksgiving, and I just recommend the viewers to make sure you go over and check out that video she dropped today. It was today that you dropped it, right? For your different
yesterday
or yesterday. Okay,
yeah,
I watched it today anyways, but make sure you go over and check that out. She's got some great ideas. You do a really good job with editing your videos. I found it very enjoyable to watch, and I like the music and stuff. So make sure that you go check out her channel and give her a sub too. And I'll make sure to put her her channel up here, her handle and stuff. Yeah, right there. Hopefully I spelled it right at Nourishment Redacted.
That's it. All 19 letters. Yes. It's so long. I was like, with the @ symbol, it's 20 characters. You couldn't have picked a smaller name, Ellie. And then I was like, but the dream. So
yep, definitely. Oh, we got a Canucks fan in here. That's okay. You're still welcome. Let's see here.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah. I know it looked good.
It was good. I cooked for 5 hours, and then I had it cleaned, right? And then the next day I edited the video for 5 hours. I'm like, why is this? That meal was 10 hours of my life. I don't mind though. It was so fun. I actually did that in collaboration with Nia from Nia's Way.
Yeah.
I love her channel too. So if you need more Thanksgiving inspiration, go check her video out. She makes some really delicious looking food. And like we planned this together, and she's awesome. She's become my close friend, and she's a carnivore mom too. If you care about that, yeah.
Yep. That's awesome. It's an awesome community, isn't it? People get along, and it's just fun. You get a lot of ideas. You learn a lot. That's for sure.
Yeah, I feel like I've made like lifelong friends that I would have never ever met
Right.
because of this. And
Well,
it doesn't matter like age or like where you live.
Right.
It's just like we have this connecting quality of like improvement of life. That it's just like I don't know. It's a deeper connection than like like pleasantries and people you would meet in your I don't know.
Mhm.
It just seems deeper. The kind of friendships you make.
Definitely. Brad was just saying that they say to shop the outside walls of the grocery store for the healthy stuff, which is true with the exception of the bakery area. Yep, for sure. Makes sense. Carnivore Moms Unite.
I'm trying to find as many carnivore moms as possible so they can come on to my Mother Knows Best live stream.
There you go.
So we can talk all things kids and mamas and parents.
Oh, she's having troubles with advertisement and blocking on her computer. I know she was talking about that the other day. Yep. I see Brad's giving an update. I'm assuming, was that men's or women's, Brad? I'm assuming that was probably women's.
That would be women's basketball. Yeah. That was gonna be a pretty good game. I mean, they both were Final Four teams last year.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yep. I bet that a lot of people tuned into that game. That's what I bet. Let's see.
You could do that.
Yep. I'll check my email quick here, Russ. I'll let Brian talk a minute while I do that.
Okay. Boy, I just got back. I had to step away for a minute, so I'm like,
oh, that's
still
okay.
Out of sorts here. Okay. So I'm talking, and I really have no idea what I'm talking about right now. So,
cool.
Fill the dead air.
You know what though? I'm glad that we're using the Thanksgiving topic right now, because when you think about it, this is Thursday. It is actually 2 weeks away. It's hard to believe, but we're just 2 weeks away from Thanksgiving, which means we're like a month and a half from Christmas and the end of the year. This year has gone by so fast, hasn't it?
Yeah, but I feel like it's like been the best year of my life.
Well, yeah, I mean, eating this way, it is, it's like, I can't believe how much better I feel with eating this way. It's amazing. So there's a lot of comments coming up, and I can't really pull them up because.
Sorry, guys, I'm back now. So let's see here.
Okay.
Yep, we saw that one.
I kind of BS my way through that one.
You're fine. Bye.
Hey, John, how you doing?
Nice to see you, John.
Can't run Firefox anymore.
Firefox.
Perfect. So I know you're working on your Thanksgiving dinner and some of the specials, and you're talking about your other person that you kind of planned together to do some of that. Is there any other projects and stuff that you're working on coming up for your channel?
So I run 2 live streams. So the first one we do is Lina's Lifestyle Live. We go live with Christy from Eating Wellness and Lindsay from Lindsay Lexus, her channel. And we have a meat-based eater. It could be low carb all the way up to carnivore or lion diet. And we invite them on to talk about women's issues and just because we felt like there was a little bit of a gap in the carnivore space and people seem to really like it. We tell their story, and we get deep, we get personal, and we give them a shout out, and it's really fun to make that connection with those ladies. And like I said earlier, I have a soft spot in my heart for the children, because I grew up being a child addicted to sugar. So I'm trying to find as many health experts or carnivore moms that want to come onto my channel. And so I have a couple of episodes planned for that. I'm going to have Samantha Hammonds come on. She's a carnivore mom, and I'm going to be having Faith from the Texas Boys. She's going to be coming on and talking. And so I'm hoping, I don't know how long that series will go, I guess until I run out of moms or until people boo me off the stage. But I just want there to be more videos on YouTube about what real families do, not just from doctors, which are so helpful, don't get me wrong, but real life people are in it. They're knees deep into like transitioning your kids from sugar and everything like that. And so that's Mother Knows Best, and that comes out whenever I can. You know, that's not like a weekly scheduled thing. And I'm trying to just make sure I post at least one video a week, just to talk about my progress on carnivore. And I like to talk about mental health, and I like to talk about spiritual health, and I like to keep it silly and goofy or really depressing. So whichever one's your jam, it's fine. You'll find something. It's not always depressing, but the first few videos I cried a lot. I made a joke saying I should change my name to like the Crying Carnivore, because I was going through a lot of emotional like healing, and it feels good to cry. When
crying is a sign. You know, crying is really a sign of strength. To be honest, I believe that wholeheartedly, especially as I've went along on my own journey and helped other people, and it really is a sign of strength. So you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Brad, let's see, he's the healthiest year of his 33 years as a type 1 diabetic. He's he's had a good year. He's lost quite a bit of weight and feels pretty good.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then let's see here.
My camera's so being silly.
It's acting up a little bit. Just give it a good whack.
Come on, camera. It's working overtime. Come on.
Brian's wasn't working earlier either.
There we go. I had to blink. I had to take a nice long breath.
Yeah, you'll have to fight Carrie at Homestead Howell. Yeah, he's been pretty emotional lately. I know. You know, I even find that a little bit myself, and I'm not sure what it is, but you know, I think with just losing the weight and just, you know, even some of the shows I watch, they'll, you know, they pull at my heartstrings, I guess you could say. So definitely. Have you noticed that at all, Brian, at all? You tend to be a little more emotional now, or?
No. I've never been a very emotional person. I grew up just in a family, I guess, that we didn't show our emotions a lot, which is funny because my wife comes from a family where they did show emotions a lot. So we've been kind of opposite there. So for me, yeah, if anything, I think that maybe I don't know if this makes sense, but that maybe if I guess happy is an emotion. So I can say outside of happy, I don't have other emotions. Like I'm not like, so I did have like, it wasn't bad, but I did have like minor depression before. So I was sad in different things and stuff like that. And I don't have any of that anymore. So I don't know if that kind of makes sense. Like I don't have, so to me, I'm kind of thinking like, yeah, I'm not as emotional, that type of thing. And I've never been one to really show a lot of emotion anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I will say this, though, I smile a lot, and I never used to smile, really. So,
yeah, I'd say you're pretty even keel, Brian. Yeah, since I've known you, you're definitely very balanced and even keel, and that's awesome to be that way too. So it's cool. Yeah, Mike says allergies for sure.
Oh yeah, just allergies. Excuse me. I was gonna say, do you feel like do you think about situations more logically versus with your feelings?
I think I've always thought that way. So I guess that really hasn't changed for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, yeah, I tend to be, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. And, the other thing is, though, I'm going through a lot in my life right now with my mom dying. So she's getting close to death. So, you play the full range of emotions, let alone my life has changed so much this year. From in January I thought I was going to be disabled the rest of my life, and now I'm looking at going back to work. I'm looking at working out, exercising. It's just one of those things that you go through a lot, I guess, in that year's time. So that probably plays something into it too, I would think. So it's life changing. So things definitely change. So for sure. Good deal. Well, I do actually have a surprise guest that's going to be joining us.
Even
Ellie,
I don't know about this.
No, he doesn't. So, Ellie, I was just going to say you're welcome to stay as long as you like. We'll definitely talk some more, but we're bringing in a little comedy relief for the last bit of the game, the way it works usually. Tonight's game I knew would be a little
I wonder who it could be. Someone
we're
who's
gonna
really
bring him
funny.
on. I gotta make sure I get this set up right here. So Russ,
There he is.
I am shocked. As soon as you said comedy, I had no idea it would be Russ.
Everybody says I'm funny, but they leave off the last part. Looking. That's the part.
Yeah.
I want to know what an Ohio State fan is wearing a blue shirt for.
He can only wear red. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. What am I, a blood now? It's like, what is that supposed to mean? I wear all the different color shirts, man.
It just reminds me of that team up north.
There's no M on there, and it's a different kind of blue. It's not that, nasty, disgusting blue. Hey, John's leaving just when I get here, I can't blame
like, oh, Russ, I'm out here.
Hey, listen, a lot of people leave when I come in the room. I don't blame them. Hey, Cindy, how's your sister doing? I hung out with Cindy a little bit and her sister and her niece at Keto Palooza. We were on the winning team. They played the name that tune, and Amy, and there was another lady too. I can't say, but anyway, they were on the team. We won. I contributed absolutely nothing to the team. I did not deserve the little trophy they gave me. I contributed nothing, zero. I helped none. But hey, that's how it goes when you're on a team. Sometimes you get a trophy when you win, even though you didn't do anything. So, Jenny, yes, Amy and Jenny. But isn't your sister's name Deb? I get. Listen, I met so many people there. I got confused. So please, I don't want to tell you. Other than I'm as dumb as I look. That's all I can say. I know. Hey, I have a great memory. It's the recall that gives me problems. That's really. So, but yeah, I had a great time. We had a lot of fun. So hey, Elle. I love Elle. She's the best. Love her. Such a sweet, sweet soul.
Thank
Great
you.
Story, great energy. I love it. Like and subscribe to everybody.
I'll say this. I think, Ellie, you've really grown from when you first came on YouTube. I remember seeing you early on. You were kind of quiet, a little shy and timid, but now you're kicking it back with anybody, and that's awesome. So you've grown as a person.
Absolutely. That's the happening. That's the power of family.
Yeah.
That's the power of community, family, support. It brings out the best in you. I mean, most of the time. I got some family I want to chop in the throat, but we're not talking about that today. Hey everybody, what's up everybody? Love that low carb.
That is so incredibly nice of you guys. I do feel like I've come out of my shell. I'm showing my true self. Even people in my real life, they see that. But I think I like to show a little bit of the nervous energy I have before recording. So you'll usually see some weird, silly stuff in the beginning, but I figured it out.
You're doing great.
Yeah, keep doing that. You're reaching people. Everybody, I say it all the time, and that's what community is. everybody can't connect with her. I mean, there's people that I can reach that you can't, that you're just not going to reach. There's people that you can reach that I can't reach. Everybody's room for everybody out here, you know, all different personality types, all different levels, all different stages, you know, all different, you know, places on the path, man. I just think it's so important to show that, you know, hey, I might as well go ahead. You know, the haters get ready. But you know, it's like, you know, I don't particularly enjoy seeing 5 or 6 people that all agree with each other 100%. Just pat each other on the head. It's like, well, what do you think? Well, I think the sky is blue. Well, what do you think, Jim? Blue. Fred? Blue. Al? Blue. You know, I want to see some different opinions, some different thoughts, some different ways of doing things, you know, and to me, that's the strength of our lifestyle. That's what's beautiful and unique about our lifestyle, is that we all do something a little differently. You know, certainly we have our core things that we all, you know, believe in, but there's just, you know, you can find your own path in this way of living, as opposed to other, you know, programs where you've got to do exactly this on exactly this day and exactly these points and exactly these dinners. And, you know, that's not, you know, that's so that's just my thought about it. So I will, let me see, 3, 2, 1. I'm sure my inbox will be filled with, you know.
There's something wrong with what you said. Oh my gosh. The internet is rough, man.
Well, thank you, Elle. You're the best. I don't think there's anything wrong with anything I say, but I could give you 100 emails and comments that see otherwise. So, you know, I get it, because I've lived on this planet for half a century. I kind of understand humans. Human beings have a need and a desire to kind of segregate themselves into their groups. I'm a this, I'm a that, I'm from here, I'm from there. And after they do that, then the next logical step is to rank yourself. So I'm a this and I'm better than those, or I'm a that and I'm better than these. It's just human nature. In many cases, people don't, mean anything by it, or they're not trying to be nasty. In many places, sometimes it comes from a place of caring, but it's just human nature to, put yourself in a group or be put in a group and then rank your groups and judge. And that's how I look at it. That's why I don't get offended about it. This work is too important for me to be getting involved in silly squabbles with people. We got lives to save. We got sick and dying people that need our message. I don't have the time, energy, or desire to get into silly arguments about stevia and, I mean, I just don't. It's just like, I don't have time for that. So that's
not to interrupt you, Brian. Do you have a game update?
Yes, and I feel bad because I'm really not paying attention to this game.
16, wasn't it?
It's 16-10 now. Chicago scored a touchdown at some point, and I have no clue how. Carolina, though, just punted the ball back to Chicago. So Chicago's got the ball when they come back from commercial, up 16-10. Again, I have no idea how they scored, but they scored.
Late third quarter, too, isn't it already? The game's going pretty fast. So
yeah.
Russ, it looks like there's a question for you. Are you going back to Ohio for Thanksgiving?
That is a negative, Ghost Rider. I go north when the geese go north. Around this time of year, it's way too chilly up there. So unless there's an emergency or crisis, I will not be going north of the Mason-Dixon line until the spring. So that answers that. Hey, what's going on, Brenda? I think I said hey to Low Carb Carnivore. But that's my girl, Brenda. Love you, sis. She met her at Keto Palooza as well. She's the best. And
awesome. I think going to a convention, that must be so surreal. It's like meeting the people that you just see as like little icons and words, and then all of a sudden they become real. And it just, I feel like that connection becomes so much stronger. And it's like, I'm not alone. You're real people. I'm not just like, I don't hear voices in my head.
It is. You're right. It's I don't know. I don't know if I ever get used to it. But like you go to events and it's like the Keto Palooza, I took 2 steps off the elevator. It's like, homesick Buckeye. You know,
I'm a celebrity.
I'm like, what's going on, family? You know, so I love the people. I love
I
the
don't know
people.
who you are.
I love the people. I'm glad that people come up to me and talk to me and stuff like that.
Sweet.
It is great energy. I love the family, and you know, it's we've all been through something. That is really what binds us. So, you know, when you come into that room, into those communities, or even online or whatever, you know, we are bound by, you know, most of us come to this life because of some type of problem. You know, I mean, there's some people that just want to be healthier and they didn't have a lot of problems and things like that. But most of us got here because of some type of pain, some type of sickness or whatever. And so, man, when you get through that thing, or when you get over that mountain, it's just, you got a joy. You got just a joy, and that joy is what when you get into a room of people who have overcome one of a million things, man, there is so much joy there. And that's why we're always in a good mood. That's why we're always smiling and laughing. That's why we're hugging each other, because we know the struggle. Some of us are still in the struggle. But you know, we're free. You know, the tears. I mean, you go to those events, they at Keto Orlando, they do it at the beginning. At Keto Palooza, they do it at the end. But there's when people get up and tell their stories and talk about their lives and things like that, I mean, there's not a dry eye in the place, because, you know, and I always say it, you know, I was at the last event, there's a guy I met named Clay. Shout out to my man Clay and his wife Bernie. And that guy got up and told his story, and he started to break down. And, you know, I told him, and I've told others, if this thing doesn't make you emotional, you ain't suffered enough. If you can't get emotional about this thing, if you can't, you know, tell somebody that's been locked in a prison for 40 years and gets out not to be happy, not to be emotional, not to feel something.
Right.
You know, so I told him after that, you know, I went up after the show, after the thing, and I heard him. I said, brother, don't you, he was apologizing. I said, man, don't you ever be sorry about feeling what you feel, man, because, you know, this is, you've been through things, man. I mean, this guy's got a heck of a story, and, you know, it's just what it is. You're going to be emotional when you come through up the road, because you're free. But like I told him, they're not tears of sorrow. They're tears of joy, man. You know, because you're free now. You've found a way out. You know, you see that light. So yeah, man, you gotta sometimes, yeah. You're going to feel something if you've been through a struggle. I sure know how to bring a stream to a halt, don't I? I know how to.
No, not at all. I was going to add to that.
Shut this thing down, man. People are laughing and listen, my man Brian's over there like
a single tear.
Hey, there's more people watching now than we've had all night, so it's it's a good thing.
Everybody loves a train wreck, man. Everybody loves a train wreck. You know? Hey, listen, they're coming on to see what they can. Those are the haters, man. They're coming on to see what, you know, they're gonna burn me in effigy tonight somewhere, probably.
Oh my gosh! No way.
Now listen, I do get some hate. I mean, I do, because my style and my attitude is kind of carefree and loosey goosey in a lot of ways, and kind of, hey, you know, roll with the punches. Everybody's not like that, man. You got some folks out there that are strict, and they're like, you know, I get these messages. I'm like, hey, you know, I had some broccoli or some carrots, or I had a this or that, and I always get an email. It's like, I have acute broccoli disorder, and I don't appreciate. You know, this if I get within 100 yards of a head of broccoli, it burns me my skin and to the bone.
I mean, that's sad,
like,
but you can't be responsible for everybody else's journey.
Yeah,
you know,
yes,
the way it comes down to is that you're here to share your story, what works for you, and you have the heart and the capacity to be able to take in other people's feedback and try your best to help them. But if they don't like your style, maybe they should just try to be a little bit more open-minded. Go, oh, this works for him. I know it doesn't work for me. And it'll solidify how they want to go about their health journey. And maybe they'll see someone else who they really don't agree with. And then you know,
Yeah.
or they'll find people who are more like-minded, and that's fine. But whatever, like, that's why we're all encouraged to make these YouTube channels, is so that we can share our way of doing it, and it could change someone's life, and that's it.
Yeah.
We're not saying I'm right and you're wrong. Like,
yes.
that would cause heated discussion, sure.
That is an interesting, you should put it that way, because I think that, again, going back to human nature, when I come on and say that I do this or I do that, people interpret that as I should do it too, or you're endorsing it, or that, you know, because I get that, you know, when I say, hey, I did this, or, oh, you shouldn't tell people to do it. I didn't tell anybody to do anything other than find a ketogenic doctor. At least not, you know, on intentionally. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get a little worked up and I might say, but I really, really try very hard not to ever tell somebody what to eat or what to drink or whatever. I just, you know, kind of share what I do. But people take that as an endorsement, just like the other way. Like if I say I don't do something, you know, people take it as I'm against it, or, you know, well, why are you against it? I'm not against it. I just don't want to do that, you know? So it's just kind of, again, human nature. It's also human nature for people when they get something in their life that's really made a change and like bettered their life. They just want to share it with everybody, and people who may be a little more assertive, we'll call it, you know, want to tell you what to do. It's like, you know, you know, they'll knock the biscuit out of your hand about, you don't eat that, you can't eat that. You know, that's kind of human nature too. So again, I don't really get upset. I find it interesting, and I think sometimes funny, but I can't lie, sometimes it does, you know, get annoying.
The way I see it is that being an influencer is like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You know, it really is. And that's kind of what we're becoming, even if it wasn't intentional. It was more like, you know, like, this is like my food diary and this is my health journey and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, whether you're online or in real life, you're going to influence somebody. Your actions are going to have a reflection, whether it's like your kids or your family or your friends, or even if you make a comment anonymously, like on like 4chan or Reddit or something, you're going to make an impact. And so, like, kind of like how Carrie talks about like the ripple effect.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you have a little like splash here, and then the ripples go. It's like, it's in any space of just being social, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's just how it is. And I just hope that people can take a breath and try their best to just be open-minded. That's all.
Yeah, and I think it's good to talk about it sometimes too, because hey, Mary Bell, that's my girl. How you doing, sis? You know, I think it's important to talk about it a little bit too, because Adam Lacey, shout out to my man Adam, he's on the cookout with me. You know, he said one time to me, because I was telling him about some of the snarky comments or whatever I got. I was like, people know me. They know how I am. They know my philosophy and that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm, you know, and he was like, well, Russ, he said, you'd be surprised how many people, you know, they don't go back and look at your old videos. They don't know, you know, kind of how you start or what your overall philosophy is and kind of where you are in the space. They just may see you on a live stream, or they may see you somewhere. And then they just subscribe because maybe you told a joke, you thought you were funny, or you know, you sang a song or did something. They don't really know much about you other than just what they saw and they did. So then when they see that video and you're in there talking about eating White Castles, you know, you know, they're like, oh, what kind of keto guy is this?
I get it.
You know, so I mean, but my overall theme, you know, if there's people out there that don't know, is live your life. You know, I mean, you have to find your way in this thing. I think everybody has a migration. I think people migrate, you know, from standard American diet to ketovore to carnivore. People may migrate from carnivore back to keto or ketovore, and everything in between. And depending on your age, depending on your activity level and your life and your medical issues, you got to just find your sweet spot, find where you feel the best, find what's easy for you to do, easy for you to maintain and sustain, because that's ultimately where, your success comes from. And I'm fortunate. I'm so blessed and so lucky that I didn't have a lot of problems. I didn't have any problems that I knew of when I came into this life. I just was heavy. And, I've even told people, man, I gained another probably 50 to 75 pounds when I decided I wanted to lose weight. I was a happy fat guy well into my 40s. And then, around 45 or so, I said, hey, I got to get this thing under control. Let me get it together here. Let's get to work. And I started doing everything that I thought was right and put on another 50 or 75 pounds, killing myself to lose weight.
That happened to me too.
Yeah.
Like I would constantly yo-yo diet. Like I would like restrict, work out, and then like lose 20 pounds, and then they'd come back, and then, oh, look, there's 30, 30 back, and then it's just like you don't go for the root cause of why you're gaining the weight or why you're not feeling well. It's and addressing the addictions. You're just going to find yourself falling back.
Yeah, it was ignorance for me. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing everything. Again, I lived in the land of opposites. I ate nothing but fruits and vegetables and grains and lean meats and no red meat, no bacon, nothing. I mean, no butter. No, I mean, I just, literally, I did everything opposite, and it wasn't working. And I was gaining weight, and I was hungry all the time, and it was a mess.
Oh yeah, it's all cultural too. It's like, why would the authorities, like the powers that be, steer you wrong? Like when I became pregnant, my doctor was like, you can't do keto anymore, and it just like took me way off track. And then I suffered more, and times got hard. And then I'm so thankful that I decided to come back, but I couldn't go back to keto. Like the addictions were so strong, I had to go beyond and do carnivore for myself. That's just me personally.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love it. Yeah, I'm not against it. I have my reasons for not, first of all, I consider myself carnivore.
Yes.
I really do. I mean, 75 to 80% of the things that pass my lips are animal based.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I just know in our family, I'm not. I just did an interview with Carnivore Kip. It's on my channel, and we talked about it, briefly. And I told him that, oh, that's not carnivore. That's good. I'm like, okay. And the people that really follow me know I'm a carb number guy anyway. But I even was on a live stream with shout out to Carnivore's grandma. I had Dr. Barry on a live stream a few days ago, and I asked the question: is there any difference metabolically between somebody that eats 0 carbs and somebody that eats 10 to 15 carbs a day? Metabolically, is there any difference? And he was like, for 75% of humans, no. Just even worth discussing. It's, 10 or 12 carbs over 2 meals in a day. It's not even worth talking about to 75% of the people. He said there are a small group of people who have very specific disorders where they have to be 0 carb, shout out Michaela Peterson, or people like that. But he's like 7 out of 10 people, there's just no difference. It's so few that it's not even worth mentioning. And that's kind of how I feel. I put it to you this way, for me, it's just my thought. Who puts unnecessary restrictions on themselves? I mean, if you love to go to the movies and you just wake up, I'm not going to the movies anymore. Well, why not? I'm just not going. Well, you love the movies. Yes, I do. I love the movies, but I'm just not going to go anymore. Well, you can't afford it. No, I can't. Who does that? If you love to go to the movies and you don't have any problems going to the movies, you go to the movies.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about asparagus. That's how I feel about certain other foods. I don't have any problem with it. I don't have any disorders. I'm not lactose intolerant. I'm not any of those things. So, if I felt like I fell off of a roof every time I had a berry, I wouldn't eat berries. I'd be like, hey, I would love to have some blueberries, man, but every time I do, I feel like I fell off a roof. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have things like that in my life. Like I tell you, Italian like sausage and ribs and certain pork, because I didn't grow up eating pork. I'm guessing that's why. Tear me up. And when I was a younger man, I used to when I was a younger man, I used to get like pepperoni and sausage pizza. And I would always order it like on a Saturday because I couldn't leave the house. I had to do it on Saturday because it's like I gotta get to work on Monday. So yeah, if I eat this on Saturday afternoon, I'll be okay by Monday because it would just destroy me. And as I got older, I just stopped eating it because the way I felt after I ate it was just so bad. It just wasn't worth it. So I get that. I totally understand. And if you have a problem with certain things and they tear you up and it's like, oh, I just feel like, death when I eat, don't eat it. But for those of us who don't have those problems, I mean, it's a little different ballgame.
Brian, do you have a game update at all? Looks like the score's the same.
Yeah. It's funny. They're putting the Panthers' possessions tonight on the screen. Punt, field goal, punt, 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 punt.
They had a bunch of negative yardage in there too on 3 of them where they lost yardage once they got the ball.
Carolina is on the move, though. It's still 16-10. They're at the Chicago 22-yard line. And make it the 21-yard line now. It's going to be third down, about 6.
11:51 left in the game.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, so I probably can stand like about 10 more minutes, and then I'm going to have to go because my kids wake up early.
I understand.
Well, we appreciate you coming on tonight, Ellie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put this up here too so people make sure that they check out our channel. And we appreciate you coming on. You shared a lot of great information. You got a great channel, and just wish you the best of luck going forward on all the stuff that you do because you're a great person. So keep up the good work.
I make ugly face. Oh, thank you so much. I can't take a compliment. I can't do it. Make my skin curl.
You're gonna learn today.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
All you gotta do is a thank you. A simple thank you. It's all you gotta do.
You're right. I'm just being silly. But it's so funny. Every time you do the football update, this just shows how I don't know, you guys are all football guys, so you're gonna lynch me or something. But every time you're like, oh, North Carolina, I just think of the literal state and then another state playing football. I'm like, that's a big stadium. That's a really okay, I'll go. I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh.
Hopefully you guys have been reading the comments as they come up. I just kind of flash them up for a little bit so you guys can see them. And people are definitely.
It's so funny what Brenda said, that she had an oatmeal and apple every day, and her cholesterol.
Man, listen, I used to eat granola. I ate granola every day for I don't know how long, probably at least a year. When I was trying to lose weight.
Where am I at? I live in Florida. Are you asking my handle?
I'm thinking maybe where you're located, but I'll put Ellie's handle up again too.
It's long.
So while you're putting that up, I do have another score update.
Okay. Yep. Shoot.
So Carolina just got a field goal. So, the whole state. It's 13 now, Chicago. I don't know which Carolina though. Actually, they're in North Carolina, right? Yeah, they're in North Carolina.
Yeah, Charlotte.
Yeah.
So it's 16-13.
16-13 now. Yeah. So my 13-10 score was obviously wrong.
Well, you probably still have the under covered if you bet the under. I don't know what's the under, 30 something.
for those of you that don't know or came on, we had Dave Mack on earlier tonight for a little while. Yeah. So
I love Dave.
if you tuned in late, you might want to watch the replay of this because Dave Mack was on for, I don't know, roughly 40, 45 minutes.
Love that.
So it's nice to have him on. And so we got a great group of people in here tonight for sure. A lot of great people watching it. Yeah.
You got a group of great people and then me. That's
we got the best looking guy on YouTube in here tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Along with me and you, Greg.
That's funny.
Yeah, man.
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
That's
man.
me.
Yeah.
Yup.
Let Ellie be the judge of that. We can't judge ourselves. You gotta let the ladies. Shout out to the low carb ladies, all the keto cuties.
There you go.
Do a shout out to all the keto cuties and local. They have to be the ones to judge that.
That's funny. So Ellie, what did you think about being on the Low Carb Football Party? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it's fun. It's very relaxing.
Yeah.
And I like this because sometimes I feel like and I love doing like interviews and stuff like that, but I feel like sometimes I have to like say everything perfectly because I'm a perfectionist and I try not to be bad me. And so I feel like this is a good show. People come in, people go. Hopefully they stay as long as possible so you guys get those beautiful watch hours.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like,
it's pretty laid back. We're pretty easy going. We just like to have fun and people like to hang out. And, you do once in a while, I like to think that people do learn something from the show, especially from the guests that we have on. I learned from Brian. I'm just kind of the dummy that sits here, but hey, it's all good.
Yeah, the only thing you can learn from me is patience. I can tell you that. Hey, I heard a guy one time say progress is more important than perfection. Did I hear that somewhere?
But yeah, I thought you guys asked really great questions, and I like how you had the questions on the screen. That was very professional.
I try to prepare a little bit because you get your thoughts going, and then you kind of like, what was the question? So I always like to kind of have it up there a little bit as a reference point. So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it was a good thing that Greg was hosting this week because Greg's really good about doing that with the questions, putting the questions in the, and putting them up there. We switch off hosting every other week, and I'm horrible at that. Like, I'm not an organized person, so I just kind of play everything off the, side of my chair here and everything. And yeah, so Greg does a much more professional. I can't even talk. He does a better, more professional job than I do when I'm doing it. Plus, you never know like what I'm gonna do because I might say something or knock my microphone down and
hey, you haven't done that yet.
Starts laughing. I know it. It's crazy.
Hey, listen, all that is true, Brian. But we've already established you're better looking. So really, would you rather be better looking or have great mic skills? Okay, which listen, I mean, you can only, have so many talents, man. You're already the eye candy on the stream, brother. You can't have it all.
It would be great if I could have both, though, wouldn't it?
Greedy.
I want brains and beauty.
Greedy. Yeah, greedy. That's greedy, man. Let's listen. Let's let other people have some talents, man. I saw. Look, Gail says she loves it when I sing a song. Now, I've got a video coming out. I'll probably release it Friday or Saturday, where I went on a bit of a rant, and I think I sang 3 times on that.
Oh.
The songs come when they come. They just like if the spirit hits me, if the spirit hits me, I don't really plan it. Every once in a while, like somebody will say, "Hey, I want you to sing a song on the stream," or something, and I'll think about something like that. But I don't really plan anything. I don't write anything down. It's just if the spirit hits me, I sing something. I think of silly little songs or whatever. But do you have a request? I might listen. I can't promise. This is not the karaoke channel. But
I love karaoke. You and I should sing something together.
But I've been known to carry a tune. So you know, you have a request. I might do a request.
I always wonder, like with
A
the
goofy,
singing,
you
like
want a real
covers
song
and
or a
stuff.
silly song?
Oh, okay.
Okay, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, like with the covers, I wonder, like, would you get like copyright
Yes,
strikes and
that's
stuff?
you
Oh,
know,
okay.
and it's funny you should ask that because I probably got about 20 songs I could do, and I did one on a stream. I did "God Bless the Keto Road." I have to think of, every donut shop led me to where you are. Every ice cream cone, every Snickers bar pointed me on my way into your low carb arms. This much I know is true, that God bless that keto road that led me straight to you. Okay, I did that. I made a video about all the friends that I met at the Keto Orlando Summit, and I got the music and accompaniment, and I did a photo collage of all the friends and all that, and about how great time I had meeting everybody, and did it to that, and they copyright struck it for the music, and so
You try to do the acapella.
yeah, well, they haven't struck me yet for that, and that's why I do acapella. But I've got a bunch of things I could do, and I have the music to it. But I'm afraid that now what they did was they struck it and they said the owner of this is okay with you using it, you know. So we'll let it. Well, you don't have to take it down, but it is copywritten material. And I just used the accompaniment, you know, a track. I didn't, you know.
Yeah, that's probably what flagged you then.
Yeah, so like the acapella stuff, so far, knock on wood,
Okay.
I haven't had a problem with. Oh, Gail's in the.
I thought about doing some singing in my videos, but then I'm like, maybe I shouldn't. Not that I'm not monetized, but it was like,
Yeah,
you know, those strikes are scary.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I don't really care about the monetization that much. I mean, other people do, like on the cookout and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody else to not get their part monetized or whatever. But yeah, that's the biggest thing for me is I don't want them to strike the channel or
that's what I'm worried about
against you or whatever. But Gail she wants some blues. That's fun. I'm doing keto. It's really nice. I don't eat beans, and I damn sure don't eat rice. I'm doing keto. I'm doing keto every day. Oh yeah. If you wanna get better, I'm telling you, keto's the only way. Yeah. There you go.
Snaps.
Nice.
This is like poetry, right?
That's what I mean. I just came up with that.
Okay.
Oh.
Good to know, Becky. Thank you.
Great job, Russ.
Thank you, brother. Hey, listen, I am a man of the people. You
want singing, you give them singing.
I do what I can do. You're welcome, Gail. You're welcome, sweetheart. I appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, watching, and when you speak at me, speak well. That's all I ask.
All right, gentlemen, I think I'm going to log off here. You guys enjoy the rest of your football game and chit chats, and thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. We appreciate you, and good luck with your channel. And I'm sure we'll see you down the road and maybe do some other stuff with you. So
I would love that.
All right, sounds
Thanks,
good.
Ellie.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Yeah. Hey, blues riff. That'll get rid of some people.
So
get rid of some people. Yeah.
Russ, what have you been up to? What have you been up to, my friend? I haven't talked to you in a while.
Oh my goodness, man. These YouTube streets are, I'm surprised you haven't heard all that stuff going on out there. But same old thing, man. I was laying a little bit low, I have to say, just the way life worked out. The first couple weeks of the month I was out of town, and then I came back, and then just got busy with life and other stuff, and so I was a little out of sorts there, But I'm back now doing my videos again, that kind of stuff. I released some videos while I was out. I always have 4 or 5 videos like in the can, and I can release them over time. So like the last 3 or 4 videos before the last few the ones I did before, I did weeks ago actually. And that way if I have a little lull or something, I can still have content to put out because the folks, they like to hear from you. You know how that is every so often. But yeah, just living, man. I talked about it a little bit on the cookout, but I made a video that'll be out this weekend. The keto treat folks, man, family, they got me. So, man, so I had a little keto treat fiasco, and I'm talked about that.
I saw that video. Yep.
I haven't put the video out yet, but
you were talking about the keto treats. I know.
On the keto cookout, I talked about it briefly, but I go into detail. I made a video that'll be out. I don't know, Friday, maybe Saturday. I'll put it out. So yeah, I got a little derailed. I got a weigh-in coming up on the 15th. I had a nurse here. Hey, Brad. See you, Brad.
See you later, Brad.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here. I got some blood work coming up. I had a nurse here at the house today that drew blood. And so I have a blood work video coming out and just doing what we do, man, doing the keto cookout and making some videos. I got some cooking videos coming out and some different things. All stuff that people want to see. They love to see me destroy perfectly good pieces of meat. So, we do that for them.
Yeah. Looks like just give a quick game update. It is 16-13. The Bears are leading, 4:41 left, and Carolina is moving the ball. They're on their own 26-yard line, roughly. So
Carolina just had a 4th and inches and went for it and got the first down.
Oh wow!
So, yeah,
this game's going pretty fast because usually these aren't over till about 10:30. So it's kind of moving along tonight.
It's done a little early, I think.
But it's not over yet.
Could go to overtime.
Yeah, what have you guys been up to? What's your I know you're talking about holiday plans.
Yeah.
I will be down in Fort Myers with my uncle. And we'll see how it goes. I mean, you guys kind of know how I roll. I don't know what's going to happen. I just live my life, man.
Yeah.
I don't worry about it. I don't think about it very much. We'll see what happens when I get there. I just don't, I don't think about it that deeply. I really, really don't.
Life happens, so it's just one of those things.
It's one day a year. I mean, I literally go down there one or two, maybe 2-3 days a year. I'm at my uncle's house, and there will be plenty of good food from my old life there, and the odds are definitely in favor of me eating some of it. Right. And so what? I mean, that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Again, I live my life. I don't cheat. There's no such thing as a cheat meal, a cheat day. I don't even talk like that.
Yeah.
I mean, cheating is just has a negative connotation. Cheating, you're doing something wrong. Cheating is bad. Mm-hmm. Cheating is wrong. Cheating is something you beat yourself up for.
Right.
I'm not cheating. It's impossible for me to cheat. I have a life. I have a lifestyle. I have a normal life that I live 90% of the time, and then I have, times when I'm not doing what I normally do. So that's the way I look at it. That's how I embrace it. Again, I'm lucky I don't have any food allergies or any kind of conditions where, I'm going to be, feeling like, death if I, eat some sweet potatoes. But if I did, I wouldn't eat them.
Right.
I guess I'm not far enough maybe down the road to where I feel bad when I eat things that are outside of my norm. I don't feel bad. I feel great, actually when I do it. So, but I don't want to live that way anymore. It's not, I tell people I eat what I want, but what I want to eat has changed because of the knowledge I have now.
Right.
I know things that I didn't know 6 months ago or a year ago. And so, yeah, I don't want to eat those things regularly. You know, I didn't have, I mean, again, I don't even know exactly what it means, like food addictions. I mean, I know people talk about them and stuff like that. I don't know what the difference is. All this stuff's against my, it's above my pay grade. I don't know what the difference is between, like, I guess having a food addiction and just liking something. I mean, it's like I'm not going to knock anybody over the head and steal their purse so I can get a Snickers bar. I mean, I understand like a crackhead or a person on drugs. I mean, they will do anything. They will steal from their mother to get the drugs. I mean, they will hurt people. They will take penitentiary chances to get, that thing.
Mm-hmm.
If they made a law now that said pepperoni pizza is against the law, buy a pizza, go to jail. That's the law. I ain't buying a pizza anymore. I ain't going to jail.
Right.
It'd be easy. It's like, hey, I would love to eat that pizza, man, but I can't do 10 to life for that. I can't.
Right.
I can't do that. So, I don't really know what that stuff means. I maybe I did have food addictions and didn't know it. I don't know enough to know about that. I just know that I grew up eating a certain way. I like those things, and it's all I knew until a short time ago. And I thought those things were healthy for me. I thought those things were good for me. I thought I was doing the right thing, eating granola and fruit and whole grains and all that. Yeah. And when I decided I wanted to lose weight and I wanted to get healthier, I didn't have a big problem dropping the junk food and that stuff. I went to granola and lean meats and all that stuff because I thought that's what I was supposed to do. And then, like I said, it didn't work. And I kept gaining weight. And I got to a place where I'm like, I don't even care. I'm going to kill myself with this diet. And of course, I found out that it was the proper human diet. But my whole life, I'd been told that red meat and bacon and butter and those things would kill you. So, so I didn't eat them.
Right.
So it's, when it came time. So, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody has a different, path or whatever. But for me, it's not that hard for me now. I've changed my life. I don't eat that way anymore. I don't eat that stuff regularly. I mean, here and there, I like it. So because, I can eat little bits of it here and there and still, achieve my goals and still have weight loss and still, I mean, I understand I'm slowing it down. I've lost, I'm 47 pounds at my last weigh-in. I got a weigh-in coming next week. We'll see where I'm at. I kind of think I had a little bit of a problem. I don't want to talk about it. I'll get fired up about it. But I'm living my life. That's really I'm rambling on. But I just live my life, man. But my life is different. My life has changed. I still eat pretty much the same way. I just don't eat the same things.
Yeah, definitely.
I still snack too much. I still, do things. But now I'm snacking on egg salad and hot dogs instead of Snicker bars and ice cream. But I still snack. I still.
Not to interrupt you there. I know, Brian, you want to give a game update? I know it was 4th and 2 for Carolina.
Yep. Carolina just had a 4th and 2 and converted a first down. So they've converted on 2 4th downs on this drive. 1 minute and 54 seconds left. They are at the Chicago 41-yard line.
So there's still a chance. Yeah, I think, that's the thing, Russ. I think you live life and life happens and just, you look at how far you've come. I think that's
absolutely
too,
every day, man. I laugh about it. I laugh about it now. I mean, I'm still in that phase. I think there's phases and levels that people go through. I mean, I'm still in the phase of, laughing out loud when I think about the things I used to eat, the way I used to live. The fact that I have to think about when the last time I had pizza was. Do you know that probably for 40 years of my life, I never, and I mean never, took my trash to the curb when it didn't have a pizza box in it?
Mm.
I mean, I eat pizza sometimes twice a day. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm basically a lifelong bachelor. I mean, I had a long-term relationship. I lived with somebody for 6 years, but before and after that, so yeah, I would eat pizza sometimes twice a day. Order pizza twice a day. I'd certainly once a week at a minimum. And it's like somebody said something about pizza that I had to really think. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I had pizza. I had to think about it, and it was September, but I had to think about it. I mean, that's how different my life is now. When somebody asked me when's the last time I had some cake or whatever, I'm like, I really had to think about it. I'm like, I can't remember the last time I did that. So I'm still in that phase of my path to where I'm still excited or happy about the goofiest little things.
Right.
Maybe someday when I get further down the path, that'll be old hat, and I'll be talking about autophagy and fasting and all that. But I'm 100 miles from that. I got to eat every day. Yeah. I mean, there's no fasting. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm nothing wrong with it. I'm not against it. I think it's wonderful. I've seen the books and all that, read the books. Just I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Maybe one day I'll get there.
Yep.
So I was gonna say, Gail just had the comment up there about that they used to have pizza Fridays. When I was a kid, we used to have pizza every Friday. That was like the thing that the family did.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, that's the old life. And I don't want a keto pizza. I don't want, I mean, that's again, just me. Nothing wrong with it. If I want pizza, I'm going to get my favorite kind of pizza from my favorite pizza place. I don't want a keto pizza. I don't want a cauliflower crust pizza. I want
the real deal.
That's right. That's one of the reasons why I don't get the keto snacks.
Right.
I don't want that anymore. I don't want to eat pizza anymore. I mean, not regularly. I don't want to. So keto pizza, or even regular pizza, because a lot, those keto snacks and those things, 90% of them are, junk food. That it's processed food.
Well, sorry to interrupt, but something big happened in the game.
Yeah, so Carolina just had another fourth down that he had decided to attempt a field goal. It was a 59-yard field goal attempt, but they missed it. So like a minute and a half left, and they're down by 3, and Chicago now gets the ball. And I think they only have 1 or 2 timeouts left, so this isn't looking good for Carolina. So I guess I was wrong because I picked Carolina to win 13-10, and it's 16-13 Chicago. Kind of close on the score, just wrong team.
Same for me. I picked Carolina 17-14, and it's 16-13. So, but it's Chicago. So, yep, this field goal.
Yeah.
Flathead dough. I've seen that a lot. I'm not sure what it's like, but
yes, I'm down to try about anything. Listen, I'll eat about anything, but in terms of my daily life and that, like I said, I'm just kind of on a different program now. We'll see because I don't close the door to anything.
Yeah,
I really don't.
Things change and evolve for sure. Even on my plan, it did. So yeah, there's a good chance it will for you too. I mean, that's just the way it works, kind of.
Yeah. I'm always, moving, grooving, steadily improving.
Definitely.
I don't say more about chicken crust pizza.
I do chicken crust pizza. I love it. It's my favorite, almost my favorite now. I would say because I don't get bloated like with regular pizza.
I get bloated if I knock on wood. I haven't had more than like two like out of the normal days in a row. Like bang bang. I've had 2 in a row, but I've never had more than 2. So I've had like 2 bad days and a clean day, then 2 bad days and a clean day. I've done that before. And I can definitely, when I'm, kind of loosey-goosey like that, I can definitely feel like the water and that, that's definitely true. I do retain water when I'm out of my normal routine.
Yep, that can happen too. So what else you got going on, Russ?
about it, man. Just like I said, just living and giving, striving and thriving. You know how it is, man. I just want to come on here with you guys a little bit, man. See what you guys are up to, and it worked out good because I with the Veterans Day weekend and stuff. We're kind of slow here, so I'll be up late. And
yeah, I'm glad it worked out for you, because it's kind of usually that last 45 minutes could be a little bit slow or hard to get through. What you say, Brian? You're kind of dragging after, when you're after 3 hours on, you get kind of.
I do have an update though. I have an update. Carolina used their timeouts. Chicago had a 3rd and 7 with 1 minute and 25 seconds left. Again, Carolina had no timeouts. Chicago could have just ran it to run the clock down. They threw a pass and completed it for a 1st down. So now they're going to take a knee and the game is going to be over. So Carolina, I'm sorry, Chicago. Did I say it backwards before? No.
I don't think so.
Chicago is going to win 16-13.
Oh, there's a flag.
There you go. Is Justin Fields playing or is he hurt?
He's hurt.
He's hurt. He's been out for like 3 weeks or 4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah, I thought I heard that. I really only follow my Bengals and Buckeyes. I don't really follow too much else.
Speaking of your Bengals, they've been playing really some solid football lately.
Yes, they definitely. Burrow looks like he's healthy, and our defense has played well the whole year. They've showed up, but it's been a little bit of a grind for the offense there. But you could see Burrow was not healthy at the beginning of the season, and he missed camp, and it's a mess. But now he's a lot more mobile. He's more accurate. He's coming into his stride now, and we're going to be tough to beat, man. If because our defense shows up, and if our offense gets rolling, we are. The Bengals and the Buckeyes are the same football team. They really are. My Buckeyes are the same. Our defense shows up every week. Yeah, our offense is terrible. I mean, terrible. So I root for them. I mean, I'm not. I'm the type. I don't ever say we can't win. I'll just say I don't know how we're going to win. I don't know how we're going to beat Michigan. I don't know how we're going to beat Michigan. Go ahead.
I got to ask you then, because I had the same thoughts. What crossed your mind when the first college football playoff rankings came out and Ohio State was number 1?
It really doesn't matter. I mean, you only got to be number 4. It's just like the basketball rankings when they come out in college basketball. Who cares? Just make the tournament. It doesn't matter whether you're number 1 or number 4. Just make the tournament. Win your conference. I
got to say, I was completely shocked because I'm in the same boat. Like, I'm not sure how they're going to beat Michigan.
I don't know how either. Oh, look at Gail.
Yeah, look at that.
He called me. Hey, what's Gail, you trying to holler at a player? What's you trying to do something with a player? Gail, what's going on, sis?
That's awesome, Gail.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Glad that's what I do on this in these YouTube streets. That's what I'm all about. I want to make people laugh, make people smile. And I share my life too, of course, but my channel is, we got a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, a lot of coaches, nutritionists, all that stuff. Bring on the clowns. That's, send in the clowns. That's how I feel about it, man. So I'm out here to, I do want to spread the message now. I do want people to understand our life, but really, I just want to make people laugh and smile and then point them to Dr. Barry and Chafee and Hampton and all the other people that, can give them some real facts and some real information, some real data to help them change their lives and hopefully save their lives. But that's what I do this for, man. Really, is just make people smile and laugh. And that's my number one objective. But to answer your question, I don't know how we're going to beat Michigan. I don't know how, but that's what I say. I'm not going to say, we can't beat them. Hey, that's why they play the games. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know. It could be turnovers. It could be with our defense. We're always going to be in the game. We've got a championship caliber defense at Ohio State. We can win a championship with that defense. We cannot win a championship with that offense not from where I'm sitting. But again, that's why they play the games. and I don't care about the rankings. Win the conference and let the rest of it fix itself. That's what I would say. But I tell you, the trap game though is the game before Michigan, Minnesota. That's the trap game. Michigan State this week. I mean, we should blow them out, but we won't because we're not that good, probably, to do that. Well, we'll win, I think. And then we got Minnesota, which is a better team. And if we're looking forward to Michigan and we're not on our game and not focused, that's the game that could trip us up. Because again, here's the other thing to think about. I mean, these are kids. There's bound to be a situation where the defense maybe doesn't play their best, or maybe we have an injury. Proctor, was a big hit and a pick six this week, and Proctor, I think, got knocked out. He might be in concussion protocol or something. But if the defense gets off to a slow start, cancel Christmas. I mean, it's like we'll be playing in the toilet bowl versus Colorado on a Thursday night after Thanksgiving. So
Pinstripe bowl.
yeah. I mean, it's like, that's how it goes in many cases. The defense, the defense hasn't played a bad game yet. They get off to a slow start. Next thing you know, we're down 14-0. This team isn't wired to come back from 14 down. It just ain't. We got to jump on you. We got to get a defensive score, maybe a special teams player too, get some good field position. That's what we have to do. So I don't know. And like I said, we'll see how it goes. I don't know. That's what makes it fun, because you don't know what's going to happen. I see some questions in there.
Yeah, I'll go back to the one here.
Love Mary Bell. That's my girl. Love you, sis. Good to see you. Good to hear from you out there. Becky, I don't care. Listen, I have zero respect for West Coast football. If you live west of the Pennsylvania state line, you are a cream puff. Okay, that's why I have to say you're soft as marshmallows out there. Stick to baseball and volleyball and whatever you guys do out there. Yeah, leave the football to the corn-fed, hay baling. I don't want to trample on those tender, Western sensibilities there. But I West Coast football is. You guys are great at basketball. You guys are good at basketball. Basketball, East Coast, a little better at basketball. But you guys are solid in basketball. You guys are great in baseball, volleyball, women's softball. I mean, you guys have your strengths. I mean, you're never going to see Ohio State in the College World Series. That's not going to happen. Okay, But when it comes to football, yeah, if you're west of Pennsylvania, yeah. I don't know I have to think about it. But since the playoffs and all that started, there's only been 3 conferences that have won it, right? ACC, Big Ten, and SEC. I don't think – has any other conference won, since the playoff era?
I think you're right.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I think Ohio State's the only Big Ten, I think, that's won it. And you had Clemson, you had Florida State, I think, ACC – and then you've had Alabama and Georgia. Maybe and LSU.
LSU, right?
Yeah. So those are the only, and I don't even know. I mean, one year they had an undefeated team that didn't make it in, didn't they? One year, Oklahoma maybe or something like that. They didn't even get in the playoffs. They were undefeated from the Big 12 or something. I can't remember these things come together. I mean, you saw what happened to TCU last year. When they came out there, that was a joke. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. They're the number 2 offense in the country. They played Colorado, Utah State, Utah Convent, the Utah non-convent. They played come on, man. Listen, I love you, Becky. You're my sister. But if they join the Big Ten, they'd probably be the 5th best team. I'm serious. You think you guys can beat Penn State? I don't. You know you can't beat Ohio State or Michigan. You know that. So I'm going to throw you a bone because I love you and you live in your car. You be the third best team. Okay, listen, you're coming for the Buckeyes. Didn't we beat the brakes off of you? We beat the brakes off of you how many times? Like 2 or 3? I mean, we just roll our helmets out there and you guys just fall down. I mean, I don't you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. I love you. I love you, Beck. You know you're my girl. I'm so glad that you have a house now. But I'm just telling you, West Coast football. You guys haven't had a great player since O.J. Simpson. How about that? Now, you had some good years out west with Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush. You know, those years you guys did the USC teams. You had a couple of solid teams at USC. What was that, 15 years ago? When did Matt Leinart play football? I mean, really? I mean, so come on. I love you to death, but you can't be serious. I don't even think you could be Big 12 champions. I don't think you could beat Oklahoma. I mean, I don't understand this, man. I don't get it. I don't get it. And listen, that's how I feel when if I'm watching 2 o'clock in the morning, I see Ohio State playing some, volleyball or baseball or something. I'm like, oh, we're terrible. We can't win that. I mean, you guys have it's interesting to me how different regions of the country have different power sports. Just like, just like East. If you got a school, you think St. John's, does Georgetown even have a football team? I mean, I don't even know if they have a football team. They know better. They like, okay, it's like we stink at that. And we're not going to play. But basketball, man, you go East Coast, Philly, DC, man, they will run you out of the gym. That's what they do out there. They're tough in basketball out east, the Eastern schools. They don't play football out there, So Becky's going to hate me now. Oh, yes, that is true. She's right about that. They got a great shout out to Jenna Prandini. She's from Oregon, track runner. Yes, she's right about that. They've got some good track and field athletes out there, and I've watched it on TV a few times. They have a very nice track and field facility where they have a lot of big Olympic trials and different events and stuff like that. Yes, Ohio State has made it to the Rose Bowl. That was, back in the days when they were guaranteed a Rose Bowl appearance for winning the
granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl, and now it's like they play the third best team or something out of there.
Yeah, that's when the last time. That's when West Coast football was good. John Robinson and the USC Trojans back in those days with Marcus Allen and O.J. Simpson and Keyshawn Johnson. That was later on, but yes, those were the days when West Coast football was really good. But not so much football anymore. Washington right now is a team to beat out there anyway, I think. Aren't the Huskies good this year?
Yeah. Didn't they hand it to Colorado, or was that Oregon?
Well, a lot of people have handed it to Colorado.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, they have. Washington beat Oregon, though, and USC.
Yeah, they're the best team out there, and they will get rolled up by any of the big – if they go to the playoff, they might as well put on TCU uniforms. They will get rolled up by whoever from the SEC or Big Ten. Yeah, it's just a different brand of football. It's just different. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, come on into the conference. That's a long road trip from
be interesting.
From Corvallis, or I'm not sure whether I think that's Oregon State's in Corvallis.
So is the Big Ten rebalancing their conferences then with all the new teams coming in? I know like the conference I was in is pretty weak because they never seem to play Michigan or Ohio State.
Well, they're on the other side of the thing. Well, they wanted to keep the traditions the same. Like if they put Michigan and Ohio State in different brackets, then they may not play each other
Right.
anymore. And that would break like a 90-year tradition or whatever. But
Uh,
our side is stacked because we got Ohio State, Penn State, and Michigan all in the same division. And then you got, the other side, Wisconsin and Iowa and
Minnesota.
yeah, those are usually and there's a little bit of crossover, but you just can't. There's only 12 games, and I don't know why. To me, if it was me, I know it sounds, I just wouldn't play any preseason games. I just play all conference games. There's 11 teams in our conference. We have 11 games and maybe have one non-conference game, but we're going to play all the teams in the conference. I mean, that's what I would do. But I enjoy seeing the non-conference games. I love it when we beat up on Notre Dame because they're the most overhyped team in all of sports. Not all of football, all of sports. I'm talking football, baseball, curling, field hockey. They are just the most overhyped team. They're always talking about how good they are, and they never beat anybody.
So they won't be playing Oregon State anymore, huh? Interesting.
Yeah. Money. I'm sure there's money behind it. It's a money grab of some sort. But yeah, I don't think they'll fare well in our conference. I think they'll be a middle of the pack team at best. All right. Well, listen, fellas, man, I thank you so much for having me on. I sent you an email like, hey, can you said, hey, if you want to pop on. And
I was glad you gave me a shout out.
I didn't know if you really meant it or not, but I guess you really did.
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah, because like I said, later in the nights, it gets a little quieter anyways. And we, now we pretty much just have two guests on in the night. And it works. It worked out good. So definitely.
Yeah.
Eric's popping in.
Hey, that's right. Listen, there's only two teams. There's only two teams in college football that I hope that I never ever root for. Even if they're playing against each other, I wouldn't root for one of them. And that's Notre Dame and the team from that crap hole north of Ohio. Yeah, I don't ever root for those two teams. Never root for them. Never. So yeah, that's and even Notre Dame. All of Notre Dame's best players are Ohio kids. I mean, even like Desmond Howard, probably one of the great. Well, who's the greatest Michigan player ever? Maybe Woodson. He's from Ohio. Should have been a Buckeye. Elvis Gerback, was played in Ohio. Desmond Howard, like I said, from Ohio. Look at their roster, at Michigan and Notre Dame. Like Brady, their quarterback that played for them, he was from Dublin, Coffin, Ohio. They're all Ohio kids. So, it's they just come in and take our kids and and then don't win with them. But those are only two teams I never root for. I always root against them no matter what.
Yep.
So there you go.
Well, I guess we'll be wrapping up another show the way it's looking, guys.
Yeah,
for sure.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and I will try to, like I said, the later the better for me.
Yeah.
So we
always need a little relief later, don't we, Brian?
I'll try to remember that, because I'm a night owl, and I'm just hitting my stride right now. I'm probably gonna have me a little snack here and watch the.
See, I'm ready to go to bed at this point. I gotta get up in the morning.
I'll be up for probably another couple hours at least. I'll probably about, a typical day for me, honestly, is about 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. That's a typical day for me. So, yeah. But I appreciate you guys. God bless you. You're out here doing the work and spreading the message. See you, Brenda. And I appreciate you guys having me on, and appreciate everybody that's watching, all the kind words. I'm grateful and thankful that people like what I do, and I can make people smile and laugh. That's what it's all about for me. So I appreciate you. And as long as you guys want to see me act a fool on these YouTube streets, I will be here.
Sounds good, Russ. Take care, my friend. It's good seeing you.
All right, man.
All right, Russ.
care,
You guys.
Bye. All right, guys. I guess we're going to be wrapping up the show here, and just thank you all for joining us tonight. Brian, do you have any parting words?
Once again, I was wrong in the pick in the game. The wrong team. Picked Carolina and Chicago.
The scores
won,
were
so
close. We were pretty close on
it was
scores. Just the
close.
wrong team.
Yeah. I definitely should not bet. So that just another proves again that I shouldn't bet. So, but other than that, thanks everybody for joining us again. So
Yeah,
it's been fun again.
Yep, definitely. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. So take care and have a good night, everyone. Take care. Thanks again. Bye.
Bye.